Y'all, yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives at 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 255. Yes, Zern. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken. Of course, and as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. We might have been here like the first 100 episodes.
And then we would have gone our merry way.
But if y'all would have never shown up, we wouldn't still be here. That's probably
right.
for sure. My wife
would have just gone back to phone calls.
Yeah.
we was just
text messages.
gone back to catching up with each other the old-fashioned way.
Hey man, what you playing?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, texting each other. You still gaming?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
You still gaming?
Cool. Yep. Cool.
Did you get that Switch?
Yeah. Overwatch? Question mark.
Carding? Question mark.
Yeah. That was
Remember
me.
those days,
That was me
Gabe?
and Routers. I mean, back in the
man.
day, that was
Back in
probably
the
like
day.
a couple
OG.
days a week on the Wii, on the Nintendo Wii.
OG.
We had like this, like I had this mass text set up, and like 3 times a week. I think
Carding.
Router was on it.
Yep.
Ed was on it back in the day. Jason Dunn from Hawk Nelson used to lead singer. Hawk
Oh,
Nelson.
yeah.
That's right.
You love that.
And 2 other people I can't remember who. Oh, Dave and Deb that lived down the street from me at the time. I'll just send out that text, be like, carding question mark.
Awesome. So awesome.
How we used to do it. That's how we used to do it. Tim Router,
Yes, sir.
what's been going on with you and what are you playing, Doc?
Night show. Can we say that first?
Night show.
Night show. Love me some night shows.
For those that don't know, we usually record at 5:30 in the morning. Most of you guys know that.
They can probably tell.
Every once in a while, the
Exactly.
stars align, and we get to do a show at night. And
Night
it is glorious.
show. This is when
And they're
Gabe and
usually
Ed
a
come
little
out.
different. Yeah.
Gabe and Ed come out at night. Gabe and Ed come out at night.
Gabe and Ed.
When you look at the iTunes store and you see the podcast is like 4.5 hours long, you know that was a night show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
How we do it.
Man, my week is good. My father is doing great.
Awesome.
He goes back for his 4th round next week. After
That old chemo.
That's right. After the 4th round, he gets a PET scan, and we are hoping and praying for 100% remission.
I know that's right.
They
Yeah,
usually do
right?
the PET scan
Yes.
after that treatment just to see what course of action. If there is anything left over, he has to do the full 6 rounds of chemo anyway. But the 4th is just kind of a progress. We're all very optimistic about everything. He's been doing great. The funny thing is the problem that he had, the pains that he had in his hip were gone immediately after the 1st round. So
wow.
good.
That's good.
That kind of tells us that it's already shrinking because it's not pressing on his nerve anymore. So that's fantastic. So he's been doing well. I was supposed to take him to go see Dunkirk today as a little outing just to get him out of the house. But apparently he's got a low-grade fever and his counts, his immunity is very, very low right now. So my mom called me yesterday. It's like, hey, why don't we just hold off on that? Well, let's wait for a little bit. And then
That's probably a
go
better
see it.
idea.
You should be like, no,
No, we're
I
going
already
to do
bought the
this.
tickets on Fandango. He needs to go.
That's right. And we were going to do like the 1:00 showing anyway during the week, so it wouldn't have been as bad. But I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that movie. I can't wait. And my
know, that's awesome.
he has been dying to see that too. So we're gonna go when we. Probably next week when we get back from Michigan. House is coming along great. We got HVAC. We have some electricity in the place.
Nice.
Some things are still
Building's fun, right?
No, it's great, isn't it? Some things
That's what I've heard.
some things are back ordered, but we're still slated to close the end of September, so that's good.
There you go.
Man, Piper had her last day of preschool this past Thursday. I can't believe it.
I can't believe you guys kept her in all summer.
Yeah, man. It
No.
was great.
We should have did that.
Dude, honestly, like Goddard has a really good, like it's because they're still learning, but it's more of like a camp thing. Every Wednesday
man.
they have water day, so they come in their swimsuits and they do like these slip and slides, and they just make it so much fun. And Piper had a ball doing it. So we were not going to do August because she starts kindergarten in 2 weeks anyway. So. She had her last day of preschool. We brought some balloons. She hugged all of her teachers. It was really sweet, and it's a big milestone for her. And she was really, really excited. She's getting more and more excited for kindergarten, which is awesome. So I'm just so proud of her. It's awesome.
There you go.
Man,
Good
and
deal.
we had a little surprise visit yesterday. I got a text from my boy Gabe. He's like, Are you at the house or are you at the store? I'm like, I'm at the house.
I set it up the night before.
You did set it up the night. I'm
where
like,
you going to be at tomorrow?
He's like, I got a surprise for you. I'm like, oh, what's this? What's happening? And he's like, hey, come on outside. I walk outside and there's a red Jeep. And I'm like, oh, you brought me a brand new car. And he's like, no.
Exactly.
And I look
thought I was Oprah for a second.
And then I look a little further, and it's freaking Stancil and the family. And Becky and the boys, and I was like, no way. It was so great.
That's so cool.
I was so happy. I saw his Instagram that he was in Knoxville. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to come this way. And sure enough, there it is. So we got to spend some time with the Stancil family, which was awesome. And, man, that was great. And, and Piper was showing off and doing her ballet and for Becky and everything. It was hilarious. So it was,
and we noted that Becky now has met all the Married to the Games guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trophy unlocked.
Yep.
Right.
That was her last one. Got that old gold trophy. Meeting all 4 members of
that gold trophy. Well done, Becky. Well done. But man, Jason is awesome. It's so good to see him and the fam. So it was good.
So cool.
We
definitely jealous over here on this end.
I know
I was
you
over
should
in
be.
Texas, like, man, nobody's visiting me.
It'll come, Chris. It's all good.
It's hot, but it's pretty.
It's hot, but at least the freeways are crazy here in Dallas.
Exactly.
I got some sunscreen you can borrow.
There's a lot of traffic.
Got some sunscreen. He was like, Chris, can I borrow some sunscreen? He's like, yeah, sure. Then he's like, hey, can I scrape that excess that you're not using and use it on myself a little bit? That's Ginger's burn.
My Amazon 5-gallon drum doesn't arrive until tomorrow.
That's right.
I'm all fresh out. I just did my 3rd coat. I'm sorry.
That's right. He just dunks himself.
He's got a connector on his shower spout, so it's water and sunscreen.
Yeah.
Mixture as he showers.
That's his shower. It's amazing. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, man.
Anywho, well, we tomorrow we head out. We head up to Michigan to see some friends, and on the way, Ed, we're coming to you, baby. I cannot
Are you really?
wait. Yes,
Really?
we are, dude. Yeah, we're
Nice. That.
There we go.
I checked the map, and you are literally right off. What is it, Interstate 69 or something like that? 65.
I told you, man. Yeah, I think it's 2 miles from
It's
the interstate
perfect.
to our house.
So we're gonna. I'll text you when we're closer to you, and I want to see my boy. And Piper's like, oh, we're going to see Mr. Ed. I said, yes. She's like, yay. She was all excited.
She's like, then we can turn around and go back home.
That's right.
She's not even going to want to go to Michigan.
My week is complete. We can go back home
now. You can't climax that early. You might want to see him on the way back home.
Exactly.
Michigan can't beat this.
That's exactly.
Yeah, Michigan ain't got nothing on the Placentia.
Exactly. Michigan ain't got nothing on the Placentia. So it's awesome. Hey, is Sarah's not going to be back in time, will she?
No, she won't be back till Monday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I will text you tomorrow.
See him on the way back.
Yes, as we head. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We can do that too. So anyway, I'm excited to see you, man. It'll be awesome.
Right?
So I'm gonna change gears just really quickly because the only oops we had this past week was from our girl Haley, and she said hashtag MTTG oops router isn't interested in Shadow of War ? October 10th. So that actually, I read that today, and that actually prompted me. So today, I went ahead and pre-ordered all of my games for the rest of this year. So I got.
Look at you!
Wow.
I was like,
nice.
She like totally prompted me. It's like, shoot, I've got these gift cards burning a hole in my pocket, and I might as well start pre-ordering stuff. So I have pre-ordered today Uncharted Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Oranges.
Oranges.
Nice. That's just what it's gonna be from here on out. Assassin's Creed Oranges.
Assassin's Creed Oranges.
And Shadow of War. So, Haley, thank you for the reminder. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. I didn't pre-order like the Far Cry 5s yet or anything like that, just because I'll probably do that closer to the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I got some games, and they're just going to sit there for a little while, and I'm excited. And I didn't have to pay nothing because of all my gift cards, which is awesome.
Well done.
So I was able to pre-order that. Also on the gaming front, I finished Telltale's Game of Thrones this past week. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And you had a lot of tough decisions to make. And so
oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm really curious, Ed. I want to bounce some more ideas off of what you did versus what I did, because I'm like, is this how it's supposed to end, or is and I like they show you all the stats of how you compare to so many other people, and I was pretty much in line with what the majority was as well. But man, they give you a lot of different decisions to make, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's nice to kind of do that to tie in with the new season of Game of Thrones as well, which I've been watching, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
So from Game of Thrones, I have switched over to Mafia 3. It was a toss-up between
Whoa!
Wow.
It was a toss-up between Watch Dogs 2 and Mafia. I'm like, I want to go old school. I want to do some good old gangsta. So we did Mafia 3, and man, I've never seen so many rednecks, shotguns, and racial slurs in my life.
Wow.
Don't you love
Yeah.
shooting racists?
I love in the head, especially. They're like, come on, boy, and I'm like, pow, see ya, dude. That game is really great. I am having a lot of fun with it.
Nice.
Like,
Good.
it's
I'm
just
glad.
story all the way, and I love it, and I love the characters, and we got to hear our boy. Who plays John Donovan, the character Mafia 3.
Lane Compton.
Lane Compton, city of Compton. And so shout out to Lane. He sounds great, and
Nice.
it's just been awesome. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me, man. Just Mafia 3 and having fun and driving up to Michigan and gonna see Ed tomorrow. Can't wait.
That's so cool. I'm so glad you like Mafia 3 because I don't really remember you talking much about a game kind of like that genre, kind of like not necessarily GTA, but just kind of that same feel.
Right, yeah. But I like.
So yeah, I didn't know what you'd think.
I love mob. I love mob stories and mob movies anyway. But I'd never played any of the other mafias. And
I hadn't either.
I just remember a lot of people, and you especially, were talking about how much you love this game, and you and I kind of played a lot of the same games. And I'm like, I got to try it. And I had purchased it a while ago because I think it was on sale. And it was just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I want to play this, and I'm so glad I'm playing it. It's just so much fun. So
that's cool, man.
yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm having a ball with it. And that is it for me. Over to somebody else.
Eduardo.
Yes, sir.
What is going on with you, and what are you playing, Doc?
Oh man, it's been a good week. Like I mentioned, Sarah gets back Monday evening, so definitely looking forward to that. We kind of have our little countdown going, and it'll be good to get her off the road. She had a really, really good class up in Connecticut. It went really well. I was really happy for her, especially after she had to cancel the last two because of her ankle.
Twisted ankle, feeling better?
How's that ankle?
Yeah, she said that she could definitely, she was really careful on it, but she could feel that she still needed to be careful, So it was, she wrapped her foot and then, wore high tops and tied those really tightly. And so, yeah, she took care of it.
Got them Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pumped them on up.
Right?
Pump me up.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's been good. My brother-in-law, Nathan, came over last week to play games like he usually does. And he refs high school basketball games.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I forget what day it was, but that day he had reffed 3 games in a row, which I thought about it and I'm like, that's him running up and down the court for 3 basketball games straight, So he came over and he was super tired. And so we started to play, we pulled out Quantum Break so we could pick up where he left off, but neither one of us could remember what the controls were.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what?
That happens for sure.
I can't think right now.
Yeah,
Let's play something else. So we actually played Portal 2 co-op.
Oh.
And that is a lot of fun. I played through just the single player, and the co-op is entirely different. And it's a really fun game.
What did you play it on?
It's Xbox One, but it was backwards compatible.
That's so cool, man.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But then we didn't play it for too long before he realized, wow, this is making us think as well. Maybe I need to just go home and
My brain hurts.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
yeah.
Does he have any good like parent stories of like them cussing him out or something for a bad call?
It's been a while.
Nice.
He had his first couple games he did this summer. He had a few incidents, but
It's amazing that
since
that
then
parents
it's been
do
pretty
that.
good. I know, right? It's
really stupid.
It really is. It's pretty incredible just to watch people get that upset about a game like that.
Yep.
Yeah, especially during the summer season where it doesn't really count, quote unquote, you know,
Right.
towards the school's season or what have you.
Mhm.
It's kind of a summer league. So yeah, it's just funny to watch people sometimes, I guess.
Competitive.
Right? Friday, my brother Ray and his wife and his daughter, they came over and we played That's You on the PlayStation.
There you go.
I still
played that
haven't
over
played
at,
that yet. I haven't.
Patillos? It's a lot of fun, and kind of the same thing that happened when we played it with Gabe and Jenny happened with them. We played it a few times, and then they were like, is there another game we can play? And
Nice.
it's just funny because it is fun, but it doesn't have that, like how
Staying
Jackbox,
power.
I could play all night long, you know?
Mhm.
So we switched over to Drawful, and we played that all night long.
That's awesome.
All night.
All
All
night.
night. So yeah, it was a good time. I showed Piper a little bit of the Unfinished Swan because she's an art teacher, and I thought she'd really
There you
like
go.
the style of that. And she's not a gamer at all, and so it was really cool to see her get into it and try to figure out what she was supposed to do. And so it was nice just to kind of put a controller in a non-gamer's hand and watch her have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Throwing somebody in the deep end, watch them just flounder around.
I know, right? There might be a shark in that pool. Careful.
Exactly. I inverted the controls.
That's right. You know what's
So
funny
you can
is
play
that
the correct way.
she wanted it inverted.
OG.
Just to her,
There you go, because
naturally.
she's a smart woman.
Because she's a human being.
Because she's a
Nah,
smart
I'm not
woman.
quite sure she is.
That's funny.
Let's
We
see.
still love you.
We still love her. Finished Assassin's Creed 2. I rage quit it about 3/4 of the way
Did you?
through, and then picked it up again just because.
That's
the-
rare.
I know.
Yeah, that
I know.
never
It-
happens.
I don't even know you anymore.
I know, right?
I know, right?
Ed, you're
I know,
maturing.
well,
This is scary.
It's, I know. And I always heard people talk about the controls in Assassin's Creed games being horrible. And the first one I played was Black Flag and have played them all since. And I never really had much of a problem. But here I'm really starting to see and feel.
Is it the free running still?
Yeah, it's the free
Oh,
running,
yeah.
and it was fine for the first, I would say 60% of the game, and then they introduced kind of like a super jump you could do. And as soon as that came into play,
That was
all
it.
the controls went out the window. I would push
Oh, that's
up and he
hilarious.
would jump backwards and to the left.
Oh,
And so I quit. And then I thought, you know what? I'll just make some coffee, settle down for a
ooh,
little
there you
bit
go.
and picked it back up and finished that. Started in on AC Brotherhood. Just kind of going down the
Oh,
line.
it's my favorite.
Yeah,
Is it?
I really like
That's
that
my
one.
favorite.
Brotherhood is really good.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's been really cool just to kind of see all of this story and background story that I missed, having
Yeah.
jumped in
Yeah.
so late in the game.
That's
so that's
really
been
cool.
really cool to see.
Yeah, it is. It's so those controls are so frustrating, but I'm glad you were able to sit back, grab some coffee,
Right.
and do the old WWRD. What would router do? And that
Exactly.
and you did it perfectly, and well done on you.
Yes, I notice when I free run, I can't just hold up and have him jump
Oh,
over
no,
a series
yeah.
of beams. I have to like jump, stop,
Yeah, it's horrible.
and so it's pretty funny. Sunday just did a little work around the house, and then played a couple hours of Fantasia Music Evolved.
Yeah,
And-
what,
Yeah, good
what
for you,
prompted
man.
that? That's
yeah,
hilarious.
was that just because?
I was just really wanting to play something, and I was like, man, kind of one of those things of you've got 100 channels on your cable, and you can never find something to watch. And I was just like, man, I
Yeah.
don't have anything to play, as I'm scrolling through all of these games. And I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't played Fantasia for a while. Let's
the
play
weirdest
that.
feeling, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of like looking at your kitchen after it's been destroyed by all your children. And you're like, I have no idea what to even pick up first.
Right? Like, where do I start?
Like, I could wash that dish, or I could do all the dishes, and it still looks like a mess in here.
Or I could just
Exactly.
take a match to the house, burn it, and start over.
Exactly. Move to West Haven.
Yeah, and come move in with the routers. Fine with that, man. Bring it.
Right.
Exactly.
And then today was kind of cool just because it's when we're recording this, it's the 1st of August. It's a Tuesday. And so it's one of those rare days when the free games for PlayStation and Xbox all came out today.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
So I played Slime Rancher on the Xbox.
Yep.
And deleted that from the Xbox.
That's hilarious.
Slime
I
Ranger.
played a game called Runbow, which is actually, it was okay. It was kind of cool. It reminded me of the game Hue, as far as like the colors in the background can change what you can and cannot walk on, and the colors continually change. But you're basically, it's set up to be a multiplayer game, and you're racing to the end of the level.
Mm.
And so I could see how, as if I was playing multiplayer, I could see how it could be really fun. Just to play by yourself, it was just kind of cool to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I think, kind of figure out what's going on. But it really made me think, oh man, if playing this with a few people, that would be a blast. So I kept that one on the Xbox. And then over on the PlayStation, downloaded Just Cause 3 and played a
Yeah,
little bit of
man.
that tonight.
Mm.
And that was a game that I I never pulled the trigger on buying, and it went on sale a bunch of times just because I saw it everywhere as far as like ads and that kind of stuff, but I didn't hear anything about it. Like, I don't know anyone that I remember talking about it.
Yeah.
And so
not too
that
many.
kind of made me wary, just kind of like, why is no one talking about this game? And it's fun. It's kind of one of those things of I'm kind of going in expecting it not to be very good, and so of course I go in with low expectations, and it surpasses those, and it's fun. I'm not a big fan of the voiceover. I've never played a Just Cause game before, so I don't know the characters at all. The guy kind of looks like Nathan Drake, but the voice sounds like the most interesting man in the world.
Oh, no.
Really?
But
The new one or the old one?
the I don't know. Is there a difference?
There's a new, younger one. That's the newest, most.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
He's a little bit younger, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the OG
Gotcha.
original. Yeah, and then I can't really.
So
I don't
like
have
really
much-
deep in like Hispanic or
Yes,
interesting.
sometimes.
Weird.
And
Sometimes.
I don't
I don't
have
always
much
blow
room
things up.
to criticize someone's accents because I can't do accents very well.
Right. Yeah.
But this guy would go from a Spanish accent into sort of an Italian one, and then he would end up in Russia. And I'm like,
Really?
He's all
where's he
over.
going to land? What's going
He's,
So-
he's like, I don't often drink beer, but when I do, it's Dos Equis.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So I looked up who the...
Come on down.
Exactly. I looked up who the actor was just to find out who it was. And it's someone I wasn't familiar with, but I saw on his IMDb page, he's from Canada, then he moved to Ireland, and then moved to London.
there you go.
And so that explains why.
That explains a
it's just-
lot, actually.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. Just the cutscenes are a little, actually kind of funny to watch. But
And I think that's what that game is. It's like it's known for being over the top, the whole
Yeah.
parachute flying
Yeah,
around,
and
exploding
explosions
everything.
and, yeah.
So I wonder if it's kind of like a joke within itself. You know what I'm saying? I wonder
Yeah,
if it doesn't take itself that serious.
I don't think it does. And it's definitely, I think I mentioned during my playthrough, I was like, this is like playing a Michael Bay game.
Nice.
It's just
Yeah.
like action after
Exactly.
action after action, and which can be fun. So it's not a slam against it, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
There you go.
And
Did you try Bayonetta at all or download it?
I didn't. I downloaded it, but I haven't tried it yet.
I did that demo and had a lot of fun.
I've
with
never
it.
played Bayonetta.
Really?
I'm very curious.
What kind of a game is it? I know nothing about it.
I think it's hack and slash, right, Chris?
I don't completely know because I thought it was only on Nintendo consoles. I didn't realize the original Bayonetta came out on Xbox 360.
I
So-
played it somewhere, and I remember enjoying it. Like played a demo someplace. I was like, oh, that
Nice.
was kind of fun.
When you finally jump in, I'm very curious to hear what you think because I'm wondering if it's worth re-upping gold just to get it.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Probably not. I'm just kidding.
I'll definitely give it a try. And it was kind of cool because we got a tweet from, I think it was Juan today, who said, hey, thanks for putting these Games with Gold videos up on Twitter. I didn't know if I wanted to use up the hard drive space or not, so I just watched the playthroughs and kind of decided from there. So that was pretty cool to
Yeah, nice.
hear back from him about that.
Nice.
So yeah,
Good job, Eduardo.
thanks, man.
Kudos.
Thank you, sir.
Chris McCracken.
Man, oh man, how's it going?
Good.
Sell your house yet?
I think I have.
Let me get to it.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, I think I have. I don't know. We're past the whatever the.
Inspection?
Yeah, I went past the inspection. All that was fine. We met our appraisal. And
Oh,
so
that's good.
I don't really know what the next step is besides closing. So
That's
I'm,
it.
I'm
That's
just
great,
waiting
man.
on my realtor to be
Well,
like,
they'll do like
yeah.
a final walkthrough and make sure you fix the things they wanted you to fix.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna get the HVAC stuff like serviced, and then we had some stuff I had to repair on my garage door. I've already taken care of that. It's just a few little smaller things like that.
Cool.
And then as far as I know, that's it. So we've just been in
Nice.
packing mode already. So Stacy
Oh,
set
wow.
this goal of
Good.
pack at least one box a day, each of us. So
There you
each
go.
day we've been packing a box. But at some point, that's
awesome.
going to have to ramp because just one box a day is not going to make it happen.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
can I ask where you're moving to?
Well, right now it's up in the air. So
Oh, okay.
it is
Yeah.
possible that we'll be pulling a router and moving in with Mama
Yes.
Bread Fan because
Bring
they
it.
have an extra room.
There you go.
So that's one option. Another option is Katie and Kale had offered that they have an extra room at their house. The thing there though is that they have a dog and we have a dog, and we don't know if the dogs will coexist.
Oh, right.
So
Yes.
we're actually trying that out this weekend. We're gonna go meet up with Kale. Katie's gonna be out of town, and we're gonna bring the dogs together and just kind of see what happens.
Oh,
Because
cool.
like if that
So
doesn't
where
work
am
at all,
I
well,
staying
then
when I come to
it's-
Dallas? That's the question. So is it I
Yeah,
stay at
seriously.
whatever house you don't go stay at?
Called a
maybe.
hotel for you, sir. Holiday
I mean,
Inn
I can
Express.
give you a sleeping bag on the floor. I mean, that'll work. We can just make a
I'll be down
fort.
there with the dog. A fort. That'd be awesome.
So there's a couple different options that we're gonna look all through. Stacy's told me, she's like, you make the decision about where we're living, and then I'll make the decision on how we're moving all our stuff. So that's like I
Nice.
spoke of last week. That's our kind of divide and conquer thing. So I don't
Great.
know for sure yet, but it'll be one of those things.
It's pretty exciting, man.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. And now I think this coming Thursday is the first time we're actually going to go look at any other properties.
There you go.
So we're starting to get that ball rolling too. So it's all real now. It's all actually happening. It's a
That's
thing.
awesome,
dude. Great, man.
It's not just one of those things you say and then like, oh yeah, now we've got to actually do all that stuff.
Yep. Nope.
So that's kind of crazy. This past weekend I had an event that I did some photography for. It
that's
was
right. You
this
said you were doing that.
Alzheimer's benefit event. And it's where they had like a silent auction, and then they had like this band that played, and then they had this comedy group, and you would come in, and it was free, but they were taking donations. They were really encouraging that you would donate in order to come into the event, but it was all free if you didn't want to.
Right.
And they were just, every bit of the proceeds was going to the Alzheimer's Foundation here in the Metroplex, or maybe it's a national one. I'm not sure if they're broken up by region or if it's just one national Alzheimer's place. But it went really well. There was a lot of people there. The music was really good. The comedy was good.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun to I haven't had a photo job in a long, long time. So it was kind of fun to get back in the mix of everything. And I really haven't had one in a long time where it was spanned the entire weekend. So I had to shoot about 8 hours on Sunday, and then I was
Wow.
there about 12 on Saturday, or 8 hours on Saturday and 12 hours on Sunday. Not
Dude.
all of that was spent shooting. Some of it was just getting early and prepping and, other things like that. But in all, I was at the venue for that long. So
Finger foods and whatnot.
yeah.
Right.
And a lot of finger foods and everything. It was all really, really good. But yeah, it was a lot of that kinds of stuff.
There you go.
Yep. So that was fun. Outside of that, this week is the school supply drive with the lip sync
nice.
battle on Friday. I am in the
snap.
running. Don't know yet whether or not I'm going to actually get to perform. So I guess next week we'll have an update on that, whether it happened or not.
Oh, yeah.
Let's all
But-
bow our heads in prayer, shall
Yeah,
we?
Right.
I'm in the running, so that's good.
Pray to the red pants.
Pray
Yes.
to the red skinny pants, the red skinny jeans,
I like it.
There you
that
go.
they can be
Red
on
hot
display
skinny
for
jeans.
all. The white boy took us. So we are going to. I think it's going to be on Friday, like midday. It's going to be like 12:30 to 1:30. So hopefully that time frame, like keep your fingers crossed that during that time I'm actually on stage
Oh,
doing something.
So exciting.
And I'll let
funny.
you guys know next week.
I know that's right.
Gaming wise, haven't really been doing much at all. I've done some Overwatch with Stacy a little bit here and there, and
cool.
been playing some Hearthstone again just because it's the easiest thing.
Did you
for me
get to
do
play
mobily.
Doomfist at all?
Yeah, how is that?
Yeah, I've played with Doomfist. He just takes no. He just takes getting used to. He's like the first time you try to play Zarya. You're like, everybody dominates with Zarya, but it's like, but you got to figure out how to play with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So he's kind of like that. I mean, there's been people already on there that are just doing really well with him, and then I get in there and I'm like, well, I kind of see what they're going for. The one thing is that he's an offensive character, so he's way squishier than I expected him to be. Like his
Well,
health
he doesn't
just
look squishy
yeah.
is why.
it doesn't feel like he's very strong. I was kind of thinking he was going to be in the tank role, but he's not.
That's what I thought too with how they did his model. I was like,
Right.
Yeah.
okay, this is a big old dude. When I saw him on offense, I was like, okay, well, that's nice too, but shoot, his look is not going to match up with
Yeah.
the bullets he takes.
Yeah.
How is it playing against him?
Tough when somebody's good.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. If somebody gets
Yeah.
in there and you can tell that they're just now figuring it out, I mean, you can take him down pretty quickly once you know how to counter him. But he can maneuver a lot with his I don't even know what the names of them are, but his big
Yeah, he's got some
punch
jumps
and then
and
his
stuff, yeah.
uppercut and then his like slam.
Yeah.
He can move around pretty well. So, and his little shotgun fist, whatever it is, It's pretty strong. It can't shoot like super fast, but it's pretty strong. And it can hit you from almost across the maps and still do damage if the pellets land.
Wow. Oh, really? So it's not like Roadhog where it's like if you're not close, you're not hitting him.
No, I mean, unless they changed it, but I'm pretty sure like I've been shot from really, really far away and it was from like a final blow because somebody else wore me all the way down. And then it says, I watched the playback and Doomfist got me from like across the map, it feels like.
Wow.
Like, huh. So that's kind of crazy. But he's cool. I want to play around with him a little bit more and kind of figure him out some more. There's this in the arcade mode right now. There's this special event usually when they have a new character or something, they'll have a special event, and they had it's just 6v6 all Doomfist in its elimination.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
It's ridiculous. I went in there once. I was like, yeah, no, not until I know what I'm doing. This is not quite worth it.
That's a lot of Doomfist.
Yeah. But that's really been it for me. It's been just all getting house stuff ready, and that's pretty much it. Not much gaming outside of those few that I've been playing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Patillo.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
Oh, I don't even know what's been going on. I did get to hang out with freaking Stancil and the family, like Router was saying. That was such a good time. He got to come in town for a day, and he flew out of Nashville, so we got to hang out. Went down to the Opryland Hotel.
Nice.
And ate down there and hung out, and so yeah, it was just good to see. And it was the first time for Becky and Jenny to be meeting, so it was fun to have the families collide, like Router was saying.
That's awesome.
What else went on this week? Just a lot of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you got 3 children,
it's
just a lot of parenting. Yeah, it's a lot of get down off that. I hope you're not in the toilet. Kind of stuff. And so, a pretty boring week for me. Did some VO stuff. Was in town this week, so that was nice. Headed out this weekend for, I think, New Hampshire. Or something like that, somewhere random. And gaming-wise, I did hop in Overwatch because I, did the update and everything. I was like, ooh, I'm going to try to play Doomfist. That didn't happen. My thumb is not fast enough to get over to Doomfist before everybody else was choosing him. And I just, jumped
I didn't have much
play.
of a problem getting in there, which I really was expecting to always have to like get there really fast. And usually I could just do and just go choose him. I don't know what that was about.
Almost got there, but you know how they place you randomly?
Yeah.
I just was kind of always away from it,
Yeah.
So, but I've been playing Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
Which is really fun.
Nice.
It's very Japanese and very strange. There's a lot of talking. Man, there's a lot of talking.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, I was like, all right, come on with the talking. Can I punch somebody in the face now?
Is it all subtitled or is it translated? Like, is it English vocals?
English subtitles.
Okay.
Japanese voiceover.
Let's do this konnichiwa.
Yeah, and so I tried to switch it. I went to the options to see if just I listened to a little bit in Japanese, which always sounds cooler because I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And so voiceover in Japanese always sounds better to me. Like it can't sound. In my playing, in the few games that I've played that were all Japanese VO, it's hard for it to sound cheesy to me because I don't know what they're saying really.
Yeah.
And so I tried to switch it over to English just to see what it would be like, but there was no option for that. So listening to it in Japanese, but I'm mostly like they get like one line out and I'm trying to skip the, I'm reading the subtitles as fast as I can to keep it going just because there's so much talking.
Right.
Been playing some XCOM 2. Dove back into
Oh,
that.
really?
Cracking that
Joker
open again.
on the PC.
Nice.
Yeah, man, and kind of putting not that there's a super intensive game, but putting my new computer through the paces and been recording in OBS for the YouTube channel, and so I wanted to test out all that, and because I never really got it down on my last computer, so I'm like, this is the computer I'll have for the next couple of years, so I wanted to just start dialing that stuff in as early as I could. And everything else is pretty normal. Amara, our oldest, goes back to school next week, or like the 7th or the 10th or something like that. My mom's birthday's coming up. We've got our anniversary coming up. So I'm home from traveling, and we've got a couple shows here or there, but we're still staying busy. So
nice,
that's great, man.
Fun. Yeah, gonna go see Bruno Mars.
Oh, so
anniversary.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
In a couple weeks. So
wait, is he playing here,
exciting.
or are you going down to Atlanta?
We're going up to Chicago.
Oh,
right.
We're gonna go up to Chicago for like 3 days.
Jealous.
And and go see Bruno. So that'll be fun.
Good
Is
deal.
he playing at the United Center? Is that where he's playing?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
I'm not sure. He's doing 3 nights up there.
Woo!
3 sold out nights.
I am so jealous. That's going to be amazing.
It'll be a good time.
Good.
I think that's about it for me. Nothing too crazy has been going on around here. I got to show Stancil the shed that I got in my backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
And, dream up what's going to be happening with that. So we've got people coming over to look at, putting in bids to put electricity in there. And then I'll start with the, insulation and drywall after that. So that'll be obviously a project. But
oh, man, it's awesome, though.
Right?
yeah, it'll be a good time.
Good deal.
So, yes, sir. And that's it for me, I think. Obviously, Clash Royale in my tail off still.
Sweet.
Nice.
'Cause I love that game. Router, you got it?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's do it!
All right, let's start with some new releases, shall we? We've got Tacoma for the PC and Xbox One. Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun for the for the PS4 and Xbox One.
It's funny, in my Let's Play, I was like, if every time these guys punch, I say HIYAH, is that racist? Because I don't want it to be racist, but it feels right.
Hi-ya.
Yeah, it's like, HIYAH, HIYAH, HIYAH.
That's awesome. No, man, keep that going. That's great.
It makes me want to say it, so I've been fighting the urge, but I might let it rip because that's how I feel every
And
time
just
I punch
add a
somebody.
little-
I'm like, HIYAH, HIYAH.
Right.
Yeah, HIYAH.
Just add a little Bruce Lee, like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
man, be great.
Right? It feels appropriate.
It totally does, man.
In
It's
Just
amazing.
Cause 3, the main guy's name is Rico, and every time someone goes Rico, I always just go Suave.
Suave.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to, man.
How do you not?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're dead inside if you don't.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Patapon Remastered is out for the PS4. Hunting Simulator for the Xbox One. Mr. Shifty for the Xbox One.
Oh,
The Christmas poo.
And and Little Nightmares Secrets of the Maw for the PS4, PC, and Xbox One.
wow.
As I said before, our girl Haley gave me the oops, which prompted me to buy a whole bunch of stuff, which was fun.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like Christmas. I was so excited. I'm like, hey, that's a good idea. I should go ahead and just pre-order everything. And that's it for me. Back to you. No MPD, obviously, but we'll have those mid-August for July.
Yeah. Chris McCracken.
Well, as we know, the NES Classic, Super NES Classic cancellations started coming through, and they went
I
ahead
got mine.
and canceled every single one of them.
I can't believe that.
Yep, they blamed it on it
On
accidentally
the
going
goose.
live.
They blame it on the goose.
Blame it
No.
on the rain.
Or the rain. They could have, but they didn't. They just blamed it on that it accidentally went live early, the pre-order page. So
I
that's
hate when
what they
websites
said.
do that. They always just go up accidentally by themselves.
I know. It's like they're autonomous or they're AI, you know?
It's ridiculous.
They're
'Cause
self-aware.
It's definitely manageable to be able to say, hey, let's not put this on the site, or hey, let's put this on the site.
So here's a question, though. Just like as we're talking about it, why not just keep the pre-orders? Do you think it was like a thing where they got way more than they're probably going to be
Yes.
allotted, or?
It was probably an inventory issue.
But they rolled the cancellations out backwards, so they started with the people that had done it more recently, and I wonder why not just keep the earlier ones.
To fulfill until they fulfill their whatever they had to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know what it is because Walmart has come out and said that that they are going to have an ample number of systems following supply issues of the NES Classic. They're saying like we're going to have way more this go around. So
Yeah, and
I don't know why
they
that-
broke it up. They said we're going to have a lot for pre-order, and then we're going to make sure we have a lot in the store the day it comes out.
Yeah. So I don't know what the reasoning is. I mean, my head kind of went to the same spot. It's like, okay, maybe you pushed out the pre-order a little early, but what's the difference? I mean, you still close it
Still a
down.
pre-order.
Yeah, and you still can close
Right.
it down, so you can still control the window with which it was open. So I don't know, but Nintendo came out and said on Facebook that they confirmed that the Super NES Classic Edition is going to go on for pre-order at various retailers late this month. They didn't give a specific day and they didn't say specific retailers, but they did say it will be at various retailers, so not just Walmart, and it will be this month, just towards the end of it.
I wonder if they just wanted it to be like the month before it came out instead of 2 months before it came out.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Because it comes out into September, right, or something like that.
I think they just wanted to
Yeah,
start
September
over.
29th or something.
That's just such a
I know, it's
weird
stupid.
reason.
I think they just hit the reset and be like, well, look, we're not going to go and nitpick and see who got this first before the other. Let's just start all over, cancel everybody, and we'll start from scratch.
Because here's the thing too, and I said this in our Discord, and I mean it, and I'll say it on here so you guys can hold me accountable. I will try to get more than one. I will try to get two when I pre-order it, and the second one I will give away on the show if I get it.
Look at you!
But I will give it away.
Like, I thought you were going to say you're going to give it to me.
And that's why I got two in the first place. And this is what I thought was weird about them saying it was a mistake. The quantity was stripped down to only one or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you could have bought 10, which I think is smart. They shouldn't allow people to go buy 20. But I felt like that was very on purpose to have the pre-order only be for one or two. And so it just felt like a little bit too dialed in for it, not for it to be a complete mistake. So I'm just wondering what kind of behind closed doors must have happened for them to be like, oh, you know what? Let's cancel all of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
They did send out a very nice email, though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
They're like, thank you so much for your interest. We know people are excited. You're not getting yours.
It's been so nice having you. Bye-bye.
Exactly. I'm not saying you got to go home. You can't stay here.
But I'll call you an Uber.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this month. It's going to be a frenzy, though.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Will you try for it, Christopher?
I'll try, but when I see that they're like, oh, they're live, the minute I see it, I will go on there and try to at whatever retailer, I choose, or maybe try all of them if they're all not working. Yeah. And I'll give it a shot, but I have no plans to go wait in a line day of or any of that craziness. I'm just not interested in that.
It's going to be too chaotic anyway.
Another thing Nintendo said is that they were going to ship additional for launch day, and that they're going to try their best to balance it out also through the rest of the year. And so
that's good.
It's not just going to be the one huge surge on the 29th, but they want to trickle them out. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Black Friday is going to be something else again.
Yep.
This year.
Right.
It's weird. I was talking to some guys on the Discord, and I was saying how interesting it is for Nintendo because they're in such a weird spot. So the NES Classic, obviously, unless you make $1 billion, people are going to be mad. And the internet yells the loudest, right?
Yes.
And so you won't be able to get that this Christmas, even though Amazon they do a thing called like the treasure truck or something like that drives around in specific cities. I think it's like Atlanta, Seattle.
Yeah, they were in Dallas recently, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and they had them. They had the NES Classic.
Yep.
And so I knew some people that got that. And so for a regular retail price for $60, not inflated or anything. So you won't be able to get the NES Classic this Christmas, obviously, unless you go to eBay or something like that. And then you'll have the SNES Classic that comes out, which will be very hard to get. And then you'll have the Switch, which will also be hard to get. And so it's one of those things where it's like, as a company, this is like the best news ever. But still yet, they kind of get crapped on. And so it's like, how do you make that much that quickly? Like if you need to make 3 different consoles, how do you make that many and please everyone? Or do you just kind of take the route that they're taking and say, sorry, and it's better for them not to ever be on the shelves? I don't know what's the better marketing, because I guess people talk about it more because they're sold out. But then at the same time, people are upset.
Yeah, and you may have a situation where all these things from Nintendo are coming out and nobody can get them, and so then you get a whole bunch of frustrated people who are like, well, screw Nintendo, I'm not going to worry about it then.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, what's better? What's better to have to be able to supply everyone, maybe at the risk of quality, or do you just do what they're doing and it's just better to have people talking about you and that your thing is hard to get, even though I would think they wouldn't want the Switch to be hard to get. You know what I'm saying? It's your brand new thing.
That's
definitely, Nintendo definitely buys into the any press is good press mantra, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel, and
they have to be careful though.
I mean, they don't it doesn't matter. Like even when Wii U was not selling all that great, they still, the Nintendo people, that are really wanting their product and their stuff and, want to play the first party games and all that kind of stuff. Like they're still just out there buying. I mean, granted, there was a little bit less of them during that little area, but I mean, Nintendo fans buy Nintendo stuff, and they're just going to do that. So, I mean, so for the people that are not maybe hardcore on Nintendo, just seeing their name constantly, I feel like whether it's negative news or positive, I feel like Nintendo believes that us in the news is just good. It doesn't matter how it's promoted or whatever, or what the the story. And I mean, seems to work for them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you deal with so many millions of units, for somebody to say, you know what, I'm not even getting the SNES because of what happened with the NES, I guess that don't matter because people going to buy it regardless.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you got a good product, man. Doggone it, Nintendo.
It's true.
Jeez Louise. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, let's say a PS1 mini ROM machine came out. Like, would it have the same effect? You know what I'm saying? Like, would people just flock to it if they put 25 games of the bajillion that were on PS1 on a little thing that you could just plug up HDMI? I wonder if the same, you know, if only Nintendo, it's like, because of the way that they're embedded in culture and embedded in our generation especially, if they're one of the only companies that could pull something like this off, because Sega's had theirs out for forever and Atari's done the same thing, and you never hear about this happening with either of them.
Right.
You know? Man, I couldn't get my hands on that Sega throwback system. Like, nobody has ever said that, I don't think.
Yeah. Is it because you've been able to get those games like on Sega and Atari in a bunch of different places since this console?
Maybe so.
Possibly.
But it's like, the ROM world got so big, though, which I'm a little sketchy about, but like that world has gotten so big that people are able to scratch those itches still.
Yeah.
But it's just not consumer, I guess it's not consumer friendly. Huh. BioWare sent out some sad news today. They announced on their blog, it says it is with great sadness that we announced the passing of our friend and colleague Corey, and I'm gonna mess up this last name, Gaspur. He was a designer over there that worked on Mass Effect 2 and 3, Dragon Age Origins, and the upcoming Anthem. And so he passed away. So thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
That's too bad.
Seemed like a young guy, and so that just sucks that to lose somebody like that, especially somebody that sounds like he was so integral to the team.
Yeah.
So wanted to give that family a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, what else you got?
So the Psychic Readers Network has decided to sue
Good research, Chris.
Rockstar.
Really?
Yes, because in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, there was a
That's a long
fortune
time
teller.
ago.
Yes, there was a fortune teller named Auntie Paulette,
Okay.
and she was voiced by Yuri Harris. And Yuri Harris is also the actress that did Miss Cleo. And this
No way.
This Auntie
What?
Paulette, if that's how you say it, looks and sounds just like Miss Cleo. And it was intentional because, I mean, it's the same actress, the same looks,
Right.
got the
Miss
rag
Chloe.
on her head. Yes, Miss Chloe.
In the game.
Right.
Yeah. In the game, it's
Miss Chloe.
And yeah, it's because this game is 15 years old. And they're all
Right, I
like,
was about to say, that's forever ago.
I know. And they're all like,
Yeah.
oh, they own the rights to the Miss Cleo persona. And so for whatever reason now they're like, oh, we got to raise a stink about this. And so they're suing Rockstar.
That's crazy.
That's a drop in the bucket to them. They'll be like, here, get yourself something nice. Be gone
They
with
must
you.
not be doing well.
Yeah, they must not be.
They must not be psychic.
Yeah, they didn't see it coming,
Yeah,
and it
I know.
took them 15 years to see it after it did come.
That is really weird. Yeah, they don't
That's
have
funny.
foresight or hindsight.
That's right.
Exactly.
They got nothing.
That is really weird. I guess that's got to be just a cash grab, right? I mean,
totally.
can you have, so let me ask you this, because I don't know anything about this business, but can you have like the guy from Sprint has switched, the guy from Verizon has switched to do Sprint commercials.
Yeah.
But can you of course I understand the Miss Cleo persona.
Right.
And that she can't go be Miss Cleo somewhere else. But if she's just a voice, then she's just an accent playing, she's an actress then playing a psychic.
Right.
So is that what she always was, because she was an actress playing a psychic before? She can't be an actress somewhere else playing a psychic?
And
I
she
guess
probably
not.
signed some paperwork with some sort of an NDA, be it non-disclosure or whatever, saying
Or
that
non-compete or something?
something like that. Like she had to sign something. So somebody was just like, "Hey, we need to get back on this." 15 years later.
And if that was the case, you'd think they would sue her and not Rockstar. If she was violating some sort of, non-compete, whatever, That wouldn't be on
Yeah.
Rockstar. That would have been on her.
Yeah, but she's dead, and Rockstar's not. So they're going after Rockstar.
Well, there you go.
Is she
Oh, that's
really?
right.
I don't
She
think
did
I-
pass
I don't
away.
yeah,
think
she
I
passed
realized
away.
That's
So-
right. I forgot about that. Yeah. she
But still,
did.
it's like, why didn't you take this beef up with her 15 years
Right.
ago?
Probably because they were like, let's just wait for it. We foresee that she's going to die soon and she don't have any money.
Yeah.
It is in your future. I see it.
Golly.
Wow.
Like who couldn't call death?
I know, right?
Right.
Lindsay Lohan was quicker on than the
Yeah.
psychics
Yeah,
were.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she was on that GTA 5 quick. Or was it 4? Was it 5 or 4?
It was
5.
Oh my gosh. She was like, her name's Lindsay and she's drunk, so that must be me.
They made a character about a Hollywood actress who's annoying, and they're obviously talking about me because it doesn't
Right.
look anything like me.
Did she end up winning that? I don't remember.
No,
I don't think so.
she did.
That's funny.
Man, Rockstar's
So-
got so much money, it doesn't matter. It's like this is a drop in the bucket to them.
Yeah, here's your $35,000 you're
Yeah.
suing us for. I'm just kidding. It's probably something astronomical.
Yeah, we're gonna be back on the top 10 again this week.
Yep, exactly.
Right. And just stay there for a 2-year-old
Right.
game. So GameStop, I thought this was interesting, are going to be open on Thanksgiving this year.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when
which I
stores
always
do that, man.
I do too, especially when you have Black Friday things going on.
Right.
And so they did this a couple years ago, but then they put out a statement 3 years ago that said, at GameStop, we often use the phrase protect the family in reference to our business. A large part of what that means to us is to not open any of our GameStop, Simply Mac, Spring Mobile, or Cricket Wireless US locations on Thanksgiving Day out of respect for our store associates and their families and friends. We believe it's the right decision not only for our employees, but also for our customers. Enjoy this time with your loved ones, and we'll see you on Black Friday.
Okay.
And this year, their statement said, "Never mind."
It said, just kidding. We broke. We need money.
Right?
Oh. But I just thought it was so weird. Not that it's weird being open on Thanksgiving. There's a bunch of restaurants and everything open on Thanksgiving. I just thought it was interesting that they're open on Thanksgiving after having that statement.
Like, we need some help. McCracken's gone all digital.
That's,
And the rest of the
exactly.
world is following suit slowly but surely.
Exactly. Yeah, man. That stinks that they did that because that was such like the trend thing last. I remember last year everybody was like, "We're not going to be open on Thanksgiving and for the families and that kind of stuff." And then
Right.
you just kind of
And one after another, remember they opened, people made a big stink because I think it was places like Best Buy and stuff like that opened early or something like that. Like at, I forget what it was, like 5 o'clock in the
Yeah, something like
afternoon
that,
on
yeah.
Thanksgiving or something like that. And so it kind of took away from the Black Friday thing. But I always thought it was a safety issue because Black Friday had become semi-dangerous for a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
places because of the rush that would happen.
Yes.
And so it felt like that's how I made it okay in my mind. I was like, okay, well, they're probably just wanting to, calm the crowd and like,
Yeah.
let's, if we open on Thanksgiving afternoon or evening, people aren't going to be here as much as they would be at midnight going into Friday.
and nobody needs to be stabbed over a toaster.
That's right.
Right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Which that was Chris's one box today that he packed. He's like, I did my part. I packed the toaster up,
Back to toaster. We're done.
put it back in the box it came in.
Back to Overwatch.
Exactly.
Job's done.
Job's done.
You see, the crazy thing is
buddy.
that in my closet, I have a few boxes that I never unpacked when we moved in. So I'm just going to take
Yep.
it out. Oh, look, here's another one
look.
done.
There you go.
One down. Go
I'm on
back to
a
gaming.
roll.
Oh, crap. She listens to the show. Dang it.
And
again.
spoiled. Just skip that
Oh
part.
my God.
Or just cough really loud for the next 30 seconds.
But just to talk about GameStop for another second, I do wish that they would. I think there's a way that they could change their business model and become a powerhouse again.
Yep.
I think if they were just a little bit more mom and pop feeling and
Right.
not so corporate feeling, I think they wouldn't have to be shutting down stores all over the place.
Yeah.
Like when I went to when I was in Canton, Ohio with Matt Leidy, and we were like driving around, we were looking for video game places, and there was one video game place and then a bunch of GameStops. So GameStop kind of is a little bit like McDonald's, especially here in
Yep.
Nashville, where you can go about a mile and a half before you reach another one. And it's just like, man, if you guys went back to like how it was with Funco Land and EB Games at the early days, it just seems like it would serve their thing a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? that I don't know. I don't hate GameStop. I just hate what they've turned into. And I wish that they would revert a little bit, and I think it would do them a lot better.
I agree. I don't like this going back on what they said the year before. I think that's just a big smack in the face to, all the employees who are like, well, they didn't open last year, and then all of a sudden now they have to get into scheduling for this year because they've gone back on what they were trying to make a point of last year, and that's not right.
But how would they go to feeling mom and pop-ish? Like, I don't know why that would turn their fortunes around.
I think if they gave more money to when you turn in games.
Well, that's not gonna.
Yeah. It just felt more. Back in the day, it felt a little bit more communal than it did feel like just another store that you would go into. And I'm not saying that the mom and pop thing by itself would turn them around. Like, obviously, I think there's a lot of things wrong with GameStop. But one of the things I miss about them was going in there and them, letting you try out games and demo stuff and things like that and kind of talk you through. You can still talk to the employees and they're gamers and stuff like that. But it was like there was something about like just kind of going in there and knowing the people, which I know some of the guys at the GameStops around here, and then getting able to play together and stuff like that. I don't know. It was a different feeling back in the day. I used to.
But that's really more. That's really more the people that work there. I mean, because there's definitely GameStops you go into now.
No, but they don't allow demos anymore, do they?
Well, but what I'm saying is there's GameStops that you can go to now, and there's been people in our community. I know Donnie was one. He had some GameStop in particular, like he had to go way out of his way to go back to it because he didn't live near it anymore. But he would go back there, and they knew them, and they would talk about things, and they would let their kids. I think they would let them try different games out and there's all these little things that there was something that they would let them do, like open up something and put their hands like on a 3DS or something before actually getting it and different things because they had built a rapport with the people that worked there. And the people that worked there wasn't like a rotating staff that, it's been 3 months. So now these kids have left to go back to school and now some new people are shuffled in. So it really
maybe
just
that's
turns
what it is.
into
Like
that.
maybe it's what it is here. Is like our main one is at a mall.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of feels like, you get your summer help, you get your winter help. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then I walk into that one and there'll be that one guy that's like, hey, you're the guy that does the podcast, right? And I'm like, yeah. But overall, it just doesn't feel like it used to for me. Like, and ours sells a bunch of cell phones and iPads and, you know what I'm saying? It's like 2 walls dedicated to that. You're like, oh, geez.
And retail is very
but they're diversifying so they can stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And retail is so transitional anyway, just with employees nowadays, because nobody wants to be a lifer at a GameStop. It's just But I'm with you, Gabe, because I would love to be able to go to a GameStop, know the guy there, and knowing full well that he knows the kind of games that I like, and would be able to be like, hey, check out this, and this. I mean, those days are long gone. I wish they were still around, but I just don't see that happening.
And Chris, like you feel a difference going to a mom and pop over going to a GameStop, right?
He only deals in digital now, so
I mean, to some extent. I mean, I see where you're coming from, and
I go to a bunch of them too, so I'm a little skewed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I travel, I try to find a mom and pop, and so I inundate myself with that feeling of what it's like to have the guy, and not that GameStop needs to be this, but like the guy that owns it there, caring like his life depends on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I don't feel like I get better deals necessarily from granted, I don't go to as many as you, but when I do go to mom and pop place, I don't feel like I get a ton better deals, which granted, they have a bigger catalog usually of older, more classic games, but stuff that's more current. Like, I feel like it's pretty much the same price as it is at if I went to a GameStop or whatever.
Stuff for sure. Yeah, because at the mom and pops, they pay almost what we pay for the game. You know what I'm saying? They make pennies on the brand new games, but like our 2 GameStops haven't adopted the retro thing or the classics thing yet, and so they're not really promoting that. Even though you can trade in your retro stuff there, but it's not like they have it out on display. And I think, like you're saying, the mom and pops, their bread and butter is buying and reselling of older stuff.
Yeah.
More than the newer stuff.
I don't know that it's so much that it's GameStop or how they've evolved into what they are now, or is it just that time doing things and having that kind of feeling at a store, that's just not normal anymore, or not that it's not normal, but it's like you're just not going to find that much anymore because the times have just changed so much. I'm curious which one it is. Is it that not enough are still doing it, or is it just that it's because that's not the way things are anymore? because there's so many other ways of doing it.
But who sets the tone of how things are? They're the only game store I feel like that's around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Outside of Best Buy and, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. But they're like, I don't know of and I'm not saying there's not any other ones, but I don't know of another game store that's a franchise like that.
No.
So it's like they get to set the tone of what's normal and what's not normal. And maybe the old thing didn't work and that's why they changed it. You know, I'm open to that argument too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we tried to do it like this and a bunch of discs were getting scratched up when we were demoing and things like that. And it just got too big of a pain because one kid wanted to play the Dreamcast and another kid wants to try this and we don't want to be setting things up and tearing them down all the time. So I get that too.
Yeah.
You know, it does. With more inventory comes a bigger headache for switching that stuff around.
Right.
They did release a a note to Kotaku that said to better certain about why they're opening on Thanksgiving. And they said to better serve our guests with their evolving holiday shopping needs, this year GameStop will open its stores for a shortened and limited time on Thanksgiving Day. Many of our store associates and guests have asked for this. I can't imagine associates.
I can't imagine.
I know, right?
We have heard their requests and are making an adjustment to our previous position on this topic. So just to give
That's
the full
a cover up.
the full thing. Oh yeah, you never know. I don't know.
It's a cover.
mean,
They need money. It's a cover up.
Maybe so. I don't know. Or maybe most are in the mall and the whole mall's open and they don't want to be the only thing closed.
Even if they don't need money, they want money.
Yeah.
What else you got? What else you got, Christopher?
Well, I got a little bit of news here for our plethora of UK fans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Looks like
Listen up,
PlayStation
YouTube.
Plus
Listen up, YouTube.
looks like PlayStation Plus is going to get more expensive where you are.
I heard about
And the
that,
United
yeah.
Kingdom is going from £39.99 to £49.99,
Ooh, that's a
and in
big
the
Wow.
European Union is going from €49.99
yeah.
to €59.99.
Wow.
And actually, they had the same. Didn't PlayStation Plus recently go up here in the United States too? So I think it did it a couple months ago. So
Did it really?
by like $10. So I
What
think
did we went from 50 to 60 or something?
I think that it did. I mean, I have mine on auto renew, so I don't know
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too.
But I
Right. I
feel
have
like
no
I
idea.
saw that was going to be happening, and I was just like, okay.
Just spend the money, Sony. That's
Exactly.
fine.
I mean, when you think
wealthy.
about it, it's worth the $10.
Yeah.
Number one.
No, totally
PS
worth it.
Plus is, I mean, and games
Yeah.
and Gold. I mean, they're both worth $60 a year.
Yeah.
Yes, easily.
I don't care where you live; it's totally worth it. UK, Europe, go for it. It's still worth it. It's a good service.
I totally agree. My last thing I have, there's a new Kickstarter campaign called the All Controller, which I thought was very, very cool. It kind of looks like an Xbox controller, but the analog thumbsticks are where they would be on a PS4. And
There you go.
what they have it set up for is that it would work on everything. So it'd work on your PS4, it'd work on your Xbox One, it'd work on your computer, it'd work on your Android, it'd work on your iOS. And so anywhere that these things would work, it's fully customizable. You can change things, I mean, down to the sensitivity of the analog sticks, where the dead zones are. You can obviously put on speed button mashing, which is cheap and cheating, just in case anybody was wondering.
There you go.
And then, and since you can pair it like that, you can also play games on your computer that wouldn't have had controller support back in the day. We've had this before, obviously, with being able to map buttons on controllers. That's nothing new. But I don't know that we've had a controller that worked across the board on everything, including cell phones. So they're on Kickstarter right now. It's called the All Controller. They're looking for $60,000 Canadian, and they're at $53,900 right now. And I kind of want to do it, but it's
Wow. How much time do they have?
they've got 45 days left.
Oh, wow.
So they've got this thing on and popping pretty quick. To get a wireless controller is 70 Canadian, and to get the wired controller is 55. Why you'd want the wired, I have no idea.
I know, right?
But I'd imagine that the wireless comes with the wire as well.
Less latency, maybe.
Maybe. I can't imagine it's that big a difference. But I know that to the pro guys, they'd be like, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's why I got the monitor that I have. That's why I have the controller I have. I get that. But for us regular people that are just like, good at games, I don't know if it matters that much. But I thought this was a very, very cool idea. And I'm surprised it hasn't been done earlier.
I know, right?
So I think it'd be something I'd definitely be into looking at. And I don't know how much it's going to be once it actually hits market, but usually on Kickstarter, things go up in price once they hit stores. So
yeah,
all controller, go look it up. It looks really dope. Not that the controller looks dope, but just the functionality.
What it does, yeah.
Yeah. Chris McCracken?
I am out. Good sir.
So, Ed, you talked about free games.
Yeah.
You talked about trying a bunch of them.
Right?
What all are they?
Let's see. Over on the PlayStation, we have Just Cause 3 on the PS4, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry on the PS4. Which
I definitely downloaded both those.
Was that DLC of Black Flag?
Yes, sir.
Because I feel like I played that. Okay, yeah.
But it's standalone, so you don't have to have the game installed.
I wondered about that, if I would have to reinstall the game on PlayStation in order to play Freedom Cry. That's good to know.
I don't think I played Freedom Cry, so I may be downloading that tonight.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, and I want to mention, too, on this all controller, sorry to go back, the battery is 40 hours of constant playing.
Wow.
40.
Of constant playing.
40 hours of constant play.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Right?
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You'll need it for all these games.
Exactly. Continue telling us about them.
Yes,
Like
please.
Super
You can use the
Motherload
same,
on the
same
PS3.
controller on both things.
Right. Snake Ball on the PS3.
All right.
Downwell on the PS Vita with cross-buy on PS4.
Which looked kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that one out as well.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's one of those games you just get hooked on and just keep playing and playing and playing.
Is that right?
It's sneaky, huh?
Nice. And then Level 22 on the PS Vita. Over on the Xbox, you've got Slime Rancher, which is available all through August. Xbox One. That's one of them I played. I probably won't
enjoy it.
Yeah, but I can see where people... It kind of reminded me of Minecraft, where you could spend a lot of time in it just doing stuff. So you could probably go get a lot of gameplay out of it if that's something you really wanted to do. Trials Fusion.
Oh,
yes.
Again?
I know, right?
I feel like that thing's been free like 10 times.
I know. I think they just kind of rotate between all the Trials games, and then
they're like, "Hey, what game should we put up?" We're like, "Shoot, man, we don't really have another good one. Put Trials back."
Right? That's on Xbox One from August 16th to September 15th. Bayonetta, which is available until the 15th on the 360 and the Xbox One, and Red Faction Armageddon. I'm not familiar with that one. From August 16th to the 31st on the 360 and the Xbox One.
There you go. I love that they're doing backwards compatibility with these games.
I know, me too.
It's just like the smartest thing ever.
Yeah,
It really is. And I've used it way more than, what did they say, like the 2% or whatever?
1.5.
1.5, yeah. I've definitely gotten use out of it.
I think it's just, because every time I see like a PS3 game pop up there, I'm like,
right?
I'm not dusting that thing off
Well,
or plugging it in.
Especially since, like, it's really cool that I get an email from them saying, hey, that game you had on the Xbox 360, that's backwards compatible now.
Right.
So it's pretty cool that you'll go into your, the list of games that you own but don't have downloaded.
Yep.
And you might go in and just take a look and be like, oh, wow, that one's on there. Oh, cool. So it's been really neat to see and to have.
Yeah. Good move, Microsoft.
I know, right? Well done.
I know it's old news, but it's such a good idea.
It's still good news.
Yeah, it is. It's a gift that keeps giving.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chris.
What about on the old YouTube, that Jack?
Over on the YouTubes, new this week, we've got Yakuza 0, parts 1 through 7. Well done, Mr. Gabe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi-ya.
HIYAH. We got an episode of Slime Rancher, an episode of Runbow, and then the first 3 parts of Just Cause 3. No HIYAHs, just suave.
No HIYAHs on those. Yeah. Suave.
Looking at our top 10 YouTube videos, combining the average watch time and views for the week of July 25 through 31. Number 10, Mafia 3 DLC, Sign of the Times, Part 1, a little closure. Nice to see that.
Yes, damn you cry. I'm just kidding.
Number 9, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Part 36, Gatecrasher. There's an old friend we haven't heard from.
Oldie but a goodie.
I know. Goodie.
Number 8, Married to the Games, episode 254.
18 Mice.
I like it. Number 7, Mafia 3 DLC, Sign of the Times Part 7, Worse Than Dying. So the first episode and the last one. People didn't care about the middle. They just want to know how it starts and ends.
Yep.
Number 6, Watch Dogs 2 Part 5, Bottom Dollar Fail. Number 5, Watch Dogs 2 Part 6, Bottom Dollar Complete.
It's so interesting that people watch the fail one.
I don't know if it's because they don't realize that they probably
It's in the title.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Well, sometimes the title gets cut off if it's too long. Maybe the fail part gets cut off on their view.
Right.
There you
Like
go.
if they're on their
On your
phone or
cell
something.
phones and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah,
Good note, Chris.
good. I like that. There's no off button on the old Chris McCracken brain, you guys.
Never.
There really isn't.
It's
Never.
always just a turning.
Oh,
Yeah.
popping.
Unless you put them in the sun, then it's just screaming.
Then it just bursts into flames.
Cannot compute.
Too hot.
Number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14.
Thorfell Swamp! I was drinking water, Thorfell Swamp.
Wow,
Yeah, that's a mess.
that's becoming like a thing.
It's a
Yeah,
hot
it
mess.
Number 3, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Hey.
Back in the top 3, staying up there nice and fine.
Oh snap! What sign is that? What is that? Oh freak! Oh freak! That's just a preview.
If you haven't watched it, yeah.
Is that the Fireflies? Oh snap!
Oh, snap. Turn that junk up. Tune that junk up.
Number 2, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals. And number 1, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19, Paint Job.
Wow.
I'm glad that we don't have Grand Theft Auto on our YouTube channel because that would be the whole top 10.
Yep.
Yep. Pretty
Always
much.
and forever.
Yep.
Number 10, Grand Theft Auto 5, Slap a Prostitute. Like,
Number
golly,
8.
can we stop saying that every week?
Sue Miss Chloe.
Oh,
There you
That's
go.
good stuff.
that's
Good
funny.
job, Ed. Thank you, brother.
Good job, you guys.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what are some of your favorite stories from gaming? And just to, buckle up because some of these answers get a little windy.
They are stories.
They are stories we're talking about. Plural. Starting over on the Discord, we got The Real Ports. Mine would have to be The Witcher 3. The story and characters are some of the best. Even get some small twists in the DLC. Those guys know what they are doing.
Yep.
Amen. You can attest, right?
Oh,
Router.
oh, yes.
You beat it, right?
Yes.
And then beat the DLC
Yes.
with Humpty Dumpty and all them, or whoever the freak was on the DLC.
Humpty Dumpty and whoever the freak. That's right. Yes, the fantasy, the fable realm. Yes, but
Yes.
I didn't do the other DLC. I just did Blood and Wine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Did you even
There
make
is
it to
another one.
Skellige? Come on now.
Yeah, that was me.
Shoot, yeah, that was Gabe.
I never made it to Skellige. I was like, I'll do that later, which is never.
I ran circles around
I'm gonna
Skellige.
play some more Gwent.
Yeah, he was too busy playing Gwent while I was running circles around Skellige.
Dude, Gwent is so fun in that
Right?
game. Golly. I know you didn't like it, Router.
Oh,
but I
I
love it.
purposely skipped it. It's like, hey, you
Oh,
can get some
man.
cards here at the bar at the tavern. Nope, moving on.
Yeah, the completionist in me was like, I need them cards, though.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
Roman or Romaine,
Ooh.
Silent Hill 2. Thomas was
Ooh.
alone, To the Moon, Armed and Dangerous, the Monkey Island games, Steins Gate, and the Persona series are some of my favorites when it comes to stories. I love story games too much. I can't narrow it down any further than that. And the Zero Escape games. How could I forget amazing stories in those?
Okay, you can't name every game.
He's like Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island.
How much time we got? Okay.
Exactly. Pilot Wings. There was no story in that. Drolo, Fresh Coast represent.
Yeah.
For me, it has to be the Mass Effect original trilogy. Not only was it a great story, but the stories you create with all the characters and crewmates was so personal to me. Mass Effect 3 didn't end how everyone wanted, but I was completely happy with it. It was the end to my Shepard's story, and it's something I won't forget.
I agree.
I agree, too. I wasn't that mad, but everybody
I
had
wasn't
already
mad
been
at
in
all.
an uproar by the time I beat it. Over on the forum, Robert Darrell Good Jr.,
Oh,
buckle up. And hopefully I can make it through this because, I can't read. I love this week's question. I could rattle off some of my favorite stories in gaming, like Halo, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, but I have to say my absolute favorite stories from gaming are what I'll call our stories, the kind of stories every gamer knows. All those Halo LAN parties Liz and I played in where we had an Ethernet hub in the middle of the hallway with lines running to every room in the house as we roared and cheered together every time someone captured that flag or got a spectacular kill, staying up all night and eating way too many Doritos with those guys and living off of caffeine. Stories like when I first started playing Elder Scrolls and someone first decided to show me the ropes. The camaraderie of running through group dungeons and gaining XP and being able to pay it forward and pave the way for newer players to level quickly. Or like when my kids asked me to play Halo with them for the first time and they giggled every time someone died. It was like a virtual version of all those times I pretended to be a monster and chased them around the house. Or when my wife and I faced down that giant skag from Borderlands 1 for literally 30 minutes without dying because it was for literally 30 minutes without dying because it was the second playthrough and we were way underleveled. It barely worked out. Or holding my newborn daughter as she slept and I played through Brutal Legends. There are a lot of stories in games that I can sincerely appreciate. They make us laugh and cry, or they inspire us and make us look at our world and lives differently. But my favorite stories in gaming are the ones I lived out, the memories tied to them that I hold to fondly and cherish for life, of connecting with people or playing with loved ones, not the game story, our story.
Woo! Man, I love that. Wow.
We can say now. We knew him before he was like a famous blogger / author.
Seriously.
I love that. Wow.
Really well done.
Doggone it. That is so well put.
Man.
Because we all have those. Can we just run through one? Everybody's got to have one. Like one story that it was outside the game, but was so good because of the game. Router, do you have any of those?
Man, I just remember getting my PS3 from Costco, and every time I go in Costco, I have a little. That's where it all started for me. And like the first time that I got up super early to play Skyrim, or I think it was Brotherhood at the time, and just like I got up at like 5. The first time I was getting up at 5 to play, and just I wasn't even playing on an HD TV. It was old school, but it didn't matter. I had so much fun doing it. I have fond memories of when I first started because it was Uncharted 2, it was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and it was Skyrim. Those 3 games it will always burn in my memory forever, and it's great.
Shout out to CRT.
Yeah,
there it is.
You will not be missed. Ed, do you got one?
I'm just going to say at 200 playing Nidhogg and the Jackbox games with everyone. That was a lot of fun and just such a good time.
Yeah, man.
Episode 200, we all descended on Nashville, Tennessee and had a bang 'em up time.
Yeah.
When I was with Stancil, who was at 200, we were eating and this guy walked by that had a shirt on that said, "I escaped from the escape room." And I said, "Hey, look at that guy's shirt." He's like, "What does it say?" I was like, "It says I escaped on it." He's like, "Oh, you're such a jerk." Because his group was the only one not to escape and we all went and did the escape room together. And he went and redeemed himself. Him and Becky went and did one.
They did?
And still didn't get out. Yeah.
Nice. Redemption unlocked.
It's good to know he's consistent, though.
Exactly. He's a consistent dude.
Also, never do an escape room with Stancil.
especially me because I'm undefeated.
Disclaimer.
Chris, what about you, brother?
I can remember playing this game called Destiny.
Oh,
playing the Vault of Glass raid.
Yes, sir.
And I had this teammate on my team called Sabbath Gray and hadn't beaten
Ayo.
the Vault of Glass. And
That's
it was late on a weeknight. I was staying up way past my bedtime, and we were just trying to beat this final boss and couldn't get it. And then I'm just like, man, I really got to go. And Gabe's like, no. One more.
Yeah, I can't end on a loss, man. What if I die in my sleep? I can't die losing.
Oh, man.
That next time we took down Atheon, and we took the sickest group picture, all wearing our chatter white.
That's hilarious.
That was amazing.
It was so awesome. And there's like tons of moments like that.
Who was the one that took a gangster knee? That was the best. That image.
I don't remember who did it.
It was perfect. It was like so classic.
Oh, that was a good night. That's the night I knew that Chris would be on the podcast one day.
That's the night we knew you were the one, Chris.
Exactly. Oh, I would have to say mine is I really got into what kind of like helped cement my relationship with Stancil and Gil was playing H1Z1.
Yeah.
Those guys.
I remember watching the streams.
Yes, the stories that come out of H1 are just King of the Kill version, because I know there's 2 versions, but King of the Kill is last man standing or last group standing. And it just gets so intense, and you're up against like, it's something crazy amount of people that they put on that server for each map. I want to say it's 100. It's not 100, but it's like a bunch.
It's not 100?
Is it 100?
I thought it was when I played
100.
with you guys at one time.
My gosh, it's a bunch of people on this ginormous map, and it's just like, I mean, and you talk about it so much after it's done, and you're like, oh my gosh, remember if I would have just thrown my grenade and blah, 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 blah. You know, There's so many times that we made it down to the last 2 groups, or I made it down to the last other guy alive and would get second place, and like, oh, those stories are just so good.
You know,
it's called the touch of Stancil again.
Yeah.
Second place.
And that's pretty much going to be basically the same thing with PlayerUnknown Battleground, which has been on Steam forever in early access, and it's coming to Xbox One.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's like my most anticipated Xbox One game right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. How big is that pool, though?
Well, I think on PC, I think it's the same. I think you're talking about
100?
I think it's 100 on PC. I don't know what it's going to be on console. It's probably not going to be quite as large.
Come on, console, make it 100.
Couch co-op.
When it's 100 people, it feels crazy because there's
it's going to be me and Ed.
Yeah, exactly. There's footprints everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, footsteps everywhere. Like, you constantly hear people around you until it starts to dwindle down. And the way that they, I don't know how they do it on PlayerUnknown, but on H1, how they release the gas and it always, forces you into smaller and smaller areas.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's something in there that does a similar thing that makes you move forward.
Right.
That's cool.
I've never played it, though.
Robert, thank you for writing that. That's just great since down memory lane.
Yeah,
over
amazing.
on Facebook, D-High, Texas represent.
Whoop, whoop.
Fight Night Champion has a very underrated story. I truly believe it's the greatest sports story ever in a video game.
Wow.
And D-High, I could not agree more with you.
Really?
I want them to make another Fight Night so bad, and I do not know why they're not doing it.
Really?
But they've kind of done it with you've seen NBA 2K do it where you can play like as a guy and work your way through, but Fight Night, woo!
Really?
Oh, dude, it's so good. Working your way from amateurs into being a pro boxer, and I think in that one something happens where you get locked up, so you go to jail for a while, and then you're doing the fights in jail, so it's bare knuckle, and it's just like they took a fighting game and a boxing game and just made it so much more than that. And it was just so good. Oh,
that's cool.
Fight Night Champion was awesome. Also on Facebook, Brian, I call him Neebs. He's one of my road dogs. He's on tour with us from time to time. I love this question because really I feel like even if the gameplay or whatever you're playing is amazing and it doesn't have a good story to it, it is significantly less value to me. With that, I love not only a really good story, but I love great character development. For example, though it was a short and fairly simple game, I really liked the old game Fable because the whole game is about developing the character into either a good or bad guy. But ultimately, I think I'd have to say The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess is my favorite story in any game I've ever played. The development of Link being just a simple goat herder farm boy to an evil shadow slaying hero was absolutely incredible and would even be worth being turned into a movie in my opinion, because I'm pretty sure I even cried or almost cried the first time I played through this game. Oh, and did I mention the ending boss battle is the most epic boss battle? I don't want to spoil the game for anyone who hasn't played it, but again, I think it should totally be developed into a movie, preferably live action if done right.
Nice.
I like that too.
I'm going to go look up the ending.
Right.
Matthew Serta, another one of my road dogs. Thank you guys for listening, number one. These are like buddies of mine that are listening
That's
to
so
the
cool.
show. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I needed some Google help to jog my memories. Best video game storylines ever. So I give you Beefy's unordered top 5 stories. He goes by like Beef Master and Beef Eater on all these things. That's why he calls himself Beefy. Number 1, Final Fantasy 3 or 6 for the purists. Each character had compelling story because we got them out of order here in the States. Each character had compelling stories you wanted to get more backstory for, and I don't know this person's name. Kefka ranks up there as one of the all-time baddest bad guys. Number 2, Modern Warfare 2. The one cutscene where your team gets assassinated towards the end almost brought me to tears.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't played Modern Warfare 2. Number 3, BioShock Infinite. I think you guys discussed this last week.
Yes.
Number 4, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Who doesn't like the Caribbean or Caribbean? And number 5, which I thought was interesting, Overwatch. The reveal trailer. There's so much story we don't know, but gobbling up every morsel they feed us.
That's true.
I totally agree with that. Thank you, guys. Over on Twitter, Lucas Ham Swisher at Mr. Ham 111. Walking Dead Season 1. Great cast of characters, along with Lee and Clem's relationship develops so organically. The end was heart-wrenching.
Absolutely.
Lord have mercy. Tim Paulin at T Paulin 17. Number 1, Rise of the Tomb Raider story was a great story that hooked me.
Yeah.
And number 2, recently played Dear Esther. It's short and amazing.
Nice.
Nice.
I like that. I like that a lot. And Jared Orr at JOR1313. I have to go with the story from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh.
The sci-fi apocalypse stuff really gets the nerd in me.
Nice.
I like
I
that.
love that.
Thank you guys so much for the answers. We always know that you guys are going to come with it. And so we appreciate you guys answering our question and being so detailed. It's awesome. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. MarriedToTheGames.com. Our website. Come check out the forum. Like Ed said, MarriedToTheGames.com or YouTube.com/MarriedToTheGames. We're gonna add MarriedToTheGames.com/YouTube. That just forwards to our YouTube.com/MarriedToTheGames.
Done. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, thank you. And now on Patreon, patreon.com/MTTG. Come support your boys. Get on this Discord. Get in the chat. It's so much fun. Discord is awesome.
Yep.
And Eduardo.
Rate us on iTunes so we can grab the domain marriedtothegames.com/YouTube.
We have
awesome.
It.
Well, thanks for rating us on iTunes so that we can
you.
grab the marriedtothegames.com/YouTube.
It worked.
Look at that.
What? Oh, and you know what? We're back on Stitcher. I've been
Yeah,
emailing with
that.
them for months back
Well
and
done,
forth,
sir.
trying to figure out why we weren't on there, and they finally sent me an email saying, sorry for the long delay. They found something in something that wasn't doing something right, and now we're back on Stitcher. So
Was it just us or was it everyone?
Yeah, was it just affecting us?
it was, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but all I know is about us, and it was affecting our show, and it was on their side.
Right.
All right, cool.
So we're back up there.
Nice.
I want my money back. Exactly.
Well, let's get into some questions.
Start with some Discord, and we're going to start with some Bad Gamer Elite because he is our #MTTG historian.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he is.
Listening to all the old shows, Router each week as of episode 19 had crazy backlog anxiety. I can relate. As someone who has a 60-plus game backlog, what are
Lord.
the top 3 games in your backlog, and why do other games take precedence?
Man,
Woo.
I'll start only because I have an answer to the second half. Why other games take precedent is because of this podcast. I get worried about being too far behind, even though I'm not doing great at keeping up right now.
Right.
But I get worried about being too far behind. It's one of the reasons I got like a 3DS, the new 3DS when it came out, because I just wanted to see what it was all about so I could speak on it on the show. So I just want to kind of stay current with what's going on, and I like being a part of the thing. I like, I'm the guy that likes to go to the mall on Black Friday because I like being a part of the thing. I don't even buy stuff at the mall on Black Friday.
It's just fun to be a part of it, yeah.
I just like being a part of it. I do all my shopping online, but I just love being a part of the madness. So when Destiny 2 comes out, there's nothing more that I want but to be a part of that first couple weeks when they're having server issues and everybody's complaining about not being able to get the game.
Exactly.
Games on my backlog. I just bought Watch Dogs 2. I really want to play that. I bought a couple months ago. I bought Quantum Break?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really want to play that. And what's a third one that's in my backlog? Oh, Far Cry Primal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Play that.
Own all 3 games. Have not played any of them. Haven't even touched them. The Xbox, I don't even know if it knows how to turn on at this point. But those 3 games I really want to get into. Chris?
I have a little bit of the wanting to be in the thing as well. I think that most games, especially if it's a newer IP, the hype is when the game hits. That's when everybody's excited.
Exactly.
That's when the conversations are happening. And then, shortly after, as people start to finish the game. And if it's some games, it's like I don't want it to be spoiled. So that might be a reason that I may jump to it sooner than I anticipated. In terms of backlog, I mean, I've said it other times before, but I don't really keep track of a backlog. I don't consider that I have one because I just play whatever I want to play at any given moment. I don't worry about like, oh, I bought this game, so I have to finish it, or I still haven't started X game even though I bought it 2 months ago. I really don't care. I'll just play it when I feel like playing it. I don't really beat myself up about it. So I honestly can't even tell you. The only one off the top of my head that I can think of is I haven't gone back yet to Nier. And I plan to, but I'll just I'll just do it when I do it. Right now, Overwatch is scratching that itch.
Yep. So do you own any games that you haven't touched?
That
you've bought? I don't mean like, PS Plus.
I bought Far Cry 4, never played it.
Oh, wow.
Ah, there you go.
And something, I'm sure there's something else.
Yeah. Ed?
I think really the only games that I bought and haven't played are, I just recently picked up all of the early Assassin's Creed games, and so I'm just making my way through those. But
yeah, you're
other
getting
than
through
that, I don't really have much of a backlog except for, like you mentioned, the games with gold or PS Plus games that technically I own. But
yeah,
mine.
Well, technically you don't own.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You let that thing lapse, and they'll let you know real quick who owns those games.
That's true.
Exactly.
Timmy?
Yeah, for me, I've got Tales from the Borderlands still to do. Telltale. Because of PS Plus last month, I downloaded Until Dawn, and I really kind of want to play that now. And then I also have Watch Dogs 2 still to play. Those are the 3 in the backlog. And, for taking precedence, it really kind of just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like, I just platinum Horizon Zero Dawn, so I wanted a palate cleanser. I don't want like a back-to-back super long game, so I just threw in Game of Thrones, and now I'm back into a really long game again. And I'll probably do Tales from the Borderlands after Mafia 3 as another palate cleanser.
Nice.
So it really just depends on what mood I am and how much I want to get into the game.
Did you see that video that DeBad Gamer posted of him playing Until Dawn? And
I saw a clip of him getting scared.
I didn't realize that game, if you've got the PlayStation camera, it'll turn on at the jump scares and film you.
Oh,
yeah, it will.
Nice.
Oh, he's not recording himself just the whole time?
No.
It saves it
Good
on like
idea.
an area where you can go back and watch them. I forget what it's called.
That's a great idea.
That's a really good idea,
That's
especially
brilliant.
for a game like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which I know,
That's
Tim,
awesome.
you're gonna be kind of in the thick of a lot of different games around this time. But if it works out, I mean, playing Until Dawn around Halloween time would be. I wish when it came
awesome.
out, it would have been around Halloween time. I know that's not usually a very good time because a lot of stuff's hitting around that time. But
No, I
would be
remember
a
I
perfect
played Dead
Halloween
Space.
time game.
I played Dead Space during Halloween. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it gets you more in the mood for it. Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
that is definitely one game I want to play. It would be great. Great question. That was awesome. Drew Brew. So, when is Gabe going to do another song about a game? I suggest a Thornfell Swamp Barbershop Quartet with the crew.
You get one every week.
That would be, you do get that every week.
I gotta flex
actually.
the golden pipes every now and then. Come on, guys.
That's right, man. Come on now.
For those that don't know, when I finished The Last of Us and when I finished BioShock Infinite, I was so moved that I wrote 2 songs about those
Can't forget Dragonborn.
games.
And I
Hey,
think,
Dragonborn.
I did.
Yeah.
That Dragonborn. Yeah,
I think that's what
That's
what it
still one
is,
of my
Gabe, is
favorites.
that you can't really plan on it. It just hits you.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You finish a game, you're like, I got to write a song about that.
Yeah.
And I guess I just maybe since Infinite haven't played a game that really like shook me that much that I was like, because I mean that's going down as one of my top 10 probably games.
Sure.
Gosh, I can't even. It's hard to say top 10 ever, but it's like it's going down as one of those games that I just really really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
So I guess the next time I'm like, I don't know if I'll play Horizon and love it or something like that. And
I can't believe you didn't write a song for the Last of Us 2 trailer.
Very true.
Or at least a jingle.
I know, right? Just to the guitar she was playing.
I thought for sure you would do something about Uncharted 4, but I knew you weren't feeling it as much as you had the other games.
Yeah, I didn't end up. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great, but it didn't like. I don't. Infinite was one of those things that was like for me it was standalone. So Uncharted, I kind of knew what was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing, and you already think it's going to be an A+ game. Where BioShock, I'd played 1 and 2 and not liked them at all. And so when I played Infinite, I was like, all right, let me just play this, and then it caught me off guard.
Nice. Chowfie, quick question. Have you ever jumped off a high dive? I love Chowfie's questions. They're awesome.
I've cliff jumped. I don't know.
Have you really?
Yeah,
Where?
I mean, so that's 30 or 40 or something like that. I don't know how high those were. Down at Percy Priest. At the lake here, they've got a section of cliffs that you can jump from. So back when I wasn't afraid of anything and thought I was invincible, I did that. Now things can break and won't heal the same.
And you're a father of 3, and Jenny will remind you of that, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Chris?
I've jumped off of a high diving board, somewhat high. It's not just a platform thing, is it? Like the high dive? Is it any of all the above?
Typically it is.
Okay, I've never done the platform things. I've never even been to a pool that has them. But I have been to some where the diving board, because like when you watch the Olympics, the diving boards are still kind of high as well. They're just not as high as the platform.
They're springy.
I've been to one where they were like that, and I've jumped off those, but I've never been to a platform place.
You would do the platform though, right?
I want to say that I would, but then it's like I'd finally be able to look over the edge and think, man, what if I jump? Oh, I actually can,
Right. Off that edge.
Ed?
Yeah, I've jumped off a high dive at like the local pool or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I never did. I was too scared to.
But would you?
So, I would now. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. It'd be fun. That's what we should do for episode 300. A little high dive competition.
Yeah.
Let's
Go up
do
there,
it.
do a handstand and just fall off it.
That's
like
right.
they do in the Olympics.
Somebody do a half pike, 3/4 turn, something, and boom, we're in.
I'll do the bit trip runner.
Ed will win that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good question, Chalfie. Thank you. Drolo, stemming from Arctic's question last week on Ready Player One, a big part of the story is people getting their, quote, vehicle mounts in the Oasis. The main character goes for the DeLorean that we see in the trailers. If you could have a pop culture car, any medium, games, movies, TV, comics, etc., what would be your vehicle of choice?
Ooh. I mean, I want to say the DeLorean, but I'll say it's probably a tie between the Knight Rider car and...
Kit, baby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Eleanor from Gone
come
in 60
on,
Seconds.
man.
Oh, nice.
What? No? Is that a bad one?
No, that was going to be my answer.
That was his
Oh,
answer.
nice. Look at that.
Yeah, that car is... Woo! I got to get an Eleanor... I think I put it on Facebook. I mean, Twitter or whatever, a couple months ago. I got to sit in a replica. And,
Oh, nice.
Like, put it in first gear and drive it 10 feet, and it was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, Chris, that's your answer, Eleanor?
I think so. I can't really think off the top of my head of another one man, that car.
I know, brother. I know. And I don't even like them. I don't even like them Stangs. Ed?
Herbie, number 53.
Nice.
Ooh. I like
that. I was not thinking you were going to go there.
Yeah, man.
The old love bug.
I'm going way back.
The
Magnum
Love
PI,
Boat?
Chitty Chitty Bang
Mag-
Bang.
Magnum PI, Robin 1. It's the red. It was the red
Ooh,
Ferrari.
Nice.
I like that.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
That's
There you
good.
go.
Great question, Drolla.
Great
Thanks for that.
question.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to email. You can always email us, mailbag at Married to the Games. Daniel High. As a father and husband, I have had to adjust my gaming schedule. I typically game when everyone is sleeping, working, or studying. How has family life changed your gaming lifestyle?
Oh, geez. I mean, it's thrown it on its head for sure.
Especially you,
'cause
Gabe.
it's the same way, man.
Mhm.
You just try to get your gaming in when you can. It's like if it's not late night, then it's got to be early morning, which I don't do, and
Or nap time.
or nap time. Yeah, and our kids don't all nap at the same time anymore, and so it's a little harder during the day. But lately, like when I've been doing the Yakuza playthroughs, I've been doing it at night, late night.
It's funny. Before Piper, I was still I wanted to be conscious of the fact that, if Lauren's up, I don't want to be playing games. It's when she's either working or sleeping. Like I always wanted to do that ever since I got my first console, just to be respectful. And, I don't want to just constantly be inundated with that and have that be an issue. So I was always either late night or early mornings. And then when Piper came along, it's just easier to just do it in the early mornings or when she's in bed. And then if Lauren, decides to just read in bed or whatever, then I'll go up and play.
Yeah. What about you guys, Chris?
It's different in the sense that when I was a bachelor, I would just play anytime that I wanted for as long as I wanted.
Exactly.
That's right.
And so
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Once I got married, it was more about I wouldn't necessarily do it after Stacy went to bed per se, but I would make sure that we had our time. And then whenever she got to a point where she was, doing a thing that she really wanted to do, whether it was check up on Facebook or watch some show that, she was wanting to watch that I wasn't interested in, that's usually when I would peel off. And nowadays it's just, it's her joining in on a lot of it, which is kind of cool.
Which
so
is awesome.
It's actually opened it up a little bit more. And then hopefully she'll get into even more games. And then I actually would really like for her to find a game that she really likes that maybe I don't take to. And then I can just be like, wow, this is totally awesome. Well, she kind of had that with Don't Starve, but I did enjoy playing that with her. But if she, time that she finds a game that I just don't really have any interest in, that's when my mind's going to kind of be blown. Be like, wow, I can't believe this is a place that I'm at now.
Minecraft.
Yeah. What was that one she played on her phone a bunch that you didn't play? Farmville or something crazy?
Well, she played Farmville on Facebook like back
It's
in
called
the day.
Hey something?
Yeah, she plays Heyday. Or
Heyday,
she did.
right?
I don't think
Heyday,
she
that's right.
plays it anymore. She might. I'm not really sure.
Are you guys still Pokemon going together? I forget.
No, neither one of us have it anymore.
Look at that.
There it is.
Moved
That's
on.
it. The end of an era.
Way of the dodo bird.
That's right.
Ed?
I'm a lot like Router, where I'm very cognizant of playing games when Sarah's around, just because I don't want to. And we also only have one TV, so I don't want to be the one saying I'm playing a game now. If you want to watch something, it's too bad,
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
So usually I'll play at night when a lot of times Sarah will have conference calls in the evening, and so I'll usually jump on when she's doing that. But lately, it's become me gaming has become Sarah's background noise. So she'll
Interesting.
So she'll say, "Hey, I want to work in the living room. Will you play a game? Because I want something on." But not necessarily
that's
something
really
I have to watch or have to pay attention. But she wants background noise.
Yeah.
So she's
I
like,
love that.
Yeah. So that's been very nice.
There you go.
That's
I like
really
that.
cool.
Awesome. I love
That's
that.
really cool.
And me and Ed used to just play games whenever we wanted.
Right?
There it is.
Whenever we wanted.
Yeah. And he didn't live close. I was like, yeah, I'll be right over.
That's awesome.
Right.
All right, moving on to Facebook. Herman Scott, what useless knowledge do you guys carry around that others probably wouldn't even care about or just roll their eyes at? Playing video games all my life, I can point out tons of video game sound effects and soundtracks. Everyone looks at me like a weirdo. LOL.
Huh.
That's a really great question. What useless knowledge do you guys carry around?
Ed, you probably have the most.
Thank you.
Touche, man. Touche.
No, it's like every time I've ever played anything trivia with Ed, he
he's got it.
slaughters everyone.
Yep.
Like it's not even close. He knows so much stuff.
Yeah, it's. I just wish it was stuff that I could make money off of.
Right.
That's why it's useless.
I know, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
You know a lot of movie stuff.
a lot of movie. I guess probably before this decade and back, I knew a lot of movie stuff. I haven't seen nearly as many movies or watched them as many times now as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I could,
because Ed used to have a thing yearly where you would send. What would you send around? Like your top 10 movies around Oscar time. What was it?
people's Oscar predictions and
Yeah.
and
That's so
everyone
awesome.
kind of send in their picks and what have you. I don't know. I can probably name all the Muppets.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you can.
That's
As
pretty
we saw a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
You're like, oh no, that's Zoot. I was like, oh yeah, my fault.
Yeah, sure. Sure it is, Ed. Sure it is.
Yeah. Chris, you have one?
Man, I'm sure there's something, but
Do you know like a lot about cameras and stuff that like,
Well-
the average layman would be like, I don't care if it's mirrorless or not.
well,
Just give me a
I
camera.
probably do, but then at the same time, I make my living shooting photos and video, so it's not really useless. I kind of
That's true.
know that for my craft, if you
What
will.
about like Cars and Metallica?
I mean, I don't know. There's definitely some trivia stuff about Metallica that I know that probably other people don't know, but I don't think it's an astronomical amount. And then as far as cars go, like I knew how to work on the car that I had, but that's like it.
Oh,
like I
okay,
wasn't
right.
like all encompassing. I know about vehicles, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
wasn't really me. So I'm sure there's something. I'll put it on Twitter when I figure it out. Or I'll ask Stacey. I'll be
There
like,
you go.
"Hey, is there useless stuff?" She'll just start listing things.
She'll
I'm like,
rattle
"Oh
off
yeah,
for
why
you.
wasn't I thinking of all that?"
That won't be a problem. She'll rattle. She's like, well, here's a list.
Yeah. And you're like, no. I mean stuff that you don't care about. She'll be like, yeah, no, that's the list.
That's the list. Start with number 1 and go all the way
Yeah.
down.
Right.
That's
Tim?
hilarious. Yeah, me, I surprise a lot of people because I know a lot of hip hop and 90s hip hop. So I'll start just like,
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
just start rhyming with them. It's kind of funny. And people are like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Pale white boy.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love it.
I think, I don't have a specific, maybe I do, useless knowledge. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And so I'll notice that I will jump into theology in conversations that people were like, oh, we weren't trying to really go that deep about it. And I'm like, I know, but in Old Testament times, you have to know you can't just pick out the verse. You got to know what they're talking about. You can't just say this and just throw that out there. All things are possible through Christ. Like, know what they were talking about. Don't just say that to your kids.
We were just
This
talking
is a
about our
food
favorite color.
podcast. Exactly. This is a burger podcast, Gabe.
Yeah. So I don't count it as useless to me.
That's awesome.
But at
Right,
the
No,
same
man.
time, I've noticed that I'll throw something out there and people will be like, what? And I'll be like, never mind. Sorry.
It's just useless at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just useless for that
Exactly.
conversation. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
That's
funny.
awesome.
I get my apologetics on all of a sudden. So I was like, wait, where,
Yeah, go,
where are you
man.
going?
Preach
where
it,
are you
brother.
going?
I love that though. Keep that up and never lose
Mhm.
Yeah, they're like, what about these so what were you saying about the hot dogs though?
that. Right. So should we get pepperoni on our pizza or not?
Exactly. Like, yeah, go ahead and get it.
Unclean.
Unclean.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, that's a hooved
Nothing
animal,
with
isn't it?
hoofed
Forget it.
Split hooves.
Split hooves. That's it. Split hooves.
Yeah, see?
Here we go. All right, moving on to Twitter at Krypton TKMC Spencer Stapleton. Street team. Keeping the keeping the theme alive. If the community put together a D&D online thing, would Router or any of you play/learn asking for a friend? Yes. I think I would. It's just a question of timing, but man, I would totally be down for something like that. I love that stuff.
I would say no, only because I've tried to play like Monopoly online, and when you have to like wait, when you have to like do a turn, then wait for somebody to see the notification, and then do their turn, like it just takes too long. So I probably wouldn't want to. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it would just depend on the time, and like if everybody was dedicated to a certain time, then I mean, if we can do it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Chris?
I might be willing to give it a shot, but I need a breakdown of the rules. And if it's just too ridiculous, which it might not be, it might be a very simple thing, but I just have in my mind that there's so many like things that you've got to go through and keep track of that I have to be taking notes and whatnot. And I don't want to do all that. So
I don't know that's right.
I just don't.
Ed?
I might, like Chris, I might show up like that first time, but to me, I feel
That
like
first time better be good, is what you're saying.
well, and
Yeah, right,
I just
better be
I just
glorious.
feel like that's an experience that you really need to have in person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
like
I can see that.
and I know that'd be like doing improv on a Google Hangout. It just isn't going to click. I wouldn't think the way that if you were right there feeling the energy.
Timing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like if we
That's
played
true,
Secret Hitler over email, like that's not going to work.
Yeah. You email back, I rolled an 18. What do you
Right.
got? Yeah.
Golly.
All right, moving
Good
on.
question. Sorry to stomp any dreams.
Oh,
Tell your
No,
friend
it's all
sorry.
good. It's all good.
old game dream stomper.
Your friend in the mirror.
It was awesome. Exactly. Oh, Sherry Crow, Mama Bread Fan, Mama.
Oh, hey.
At Christ Disciple.
Oh,
What's the
Mama Bread.
weirdest thing you have ever used duct tape on? I like this.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Which is duct tape.
Duct tape.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Useless knowledge.
Hmm.
Oh, gosh. Everything? I mean, it works on half the stuff I use it on.
Mm-hmm.
And the other stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's probably too much water going on right now. For that
Right.
to work. I can't remember the last time we don't even own a roll of duct tape.
Yeah.
What?
Do we have any duct tape, babe?
I've
Yeah,
got
we don't even have any.
I've got my PlayStation Gold's duct tape right now because it's all broke.
Oh, crap. I'm supposed to give you headphone
No, don't worry about it,
suggestions.
man. I'm gonna look on Amazon. I know we had this conversation, and I shouted out to the community about it too. I just need to go back and check it because it's about time to get me some new headphones.
Yep.
For me, like my headphones right now, but like there was an issue when I had to get a windshield replaced, and I was out of town at the time, and so I was driving back from Jersey, and the framing around on like the right side on the passenger side kept popping out and rattling against the windshield. So for some reason, we did have duct tape, and I was able to just duct tape it down until I could get it fixed when I got back. So I guess that's it's not weird, but it was useful. It helped.
It's random. Yeah.
And it's random.
Ed?
I kidnapped a guy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing. Somebody SWAT Placencia tonight, please. Somebody.
I was doing a workout and I used it to put like a kind of a tic-tac-toe grid on the carpet so you could kind of like keep track of where your feet were and stuff like that.
Oh, look at you.
I see UPS X, or was it X30?
It was, yeah, it was. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Christopher, this is your mom, so.
I've used it as a Band-Aid before.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, gosh. How? Why? Oh.
Because, I didn't have any
Oh, yeah, that would
bandages,
hurt.
and I was like, that'll keep it together.
That would hurt.
And shoop.
Nice.
Do you mean like you got
Until
some
you
paper
take it
towel and
off?
put it down and then taped over some paper towel? You put it right on the cut.
No, straight over. Shoop. Like you squeeze
Yeah,
it
man.
together, and then you right across it.
Oh,
I love
Lord
it.
have mercy. That sounds painful to take off.
Yeah, to take off.
Yeah,
Forget
man,
it.
quick rip. You're good.
See?
It doesn't just open it right back up.
Well, it depends on how
All
you're
right,
doing
Rambo.
it. You want to go with the cut, not against it.
Oh man, that doesn't make any sense to my brain.
No, that just hurts.
Oh, you're saying you don't put it across it; you put it lengthwise.
Mm-hmm.
laterally.
And then that's
Freaking
the
gross.
direction that you
Still
pull it
gross.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job,
Jeez
Chris.
Louise.
Yeah. Thank you.
All
sir.
right,
Yeah, that's manly.
Right?
that is. That's some Rambo stuff right there.
If anybody's wanting to be a man, go get you a paper cut real quick and get a little duct tape.
Followed by some sunscreen. All right, let's move it on. At DSpin67, I turned 50 last week.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
Guantanamo.
I want to try something daring like zip line. What is the most adventurous thing you
Is that
have
daring?
done? I know. Zip. Try something daring like poker.
Sorry.
What is
Maybe
the
that is
most,
daring. Sorry,
I
sorry,
know, right?
sorry.
What is the most adventurous thing you have done? Need ideas.
See, here's the problem. I'm laughing and I haven't done anything.
I know.
adventurous.
I'm the
There you
same. I've done
so-
zip lining.
So not true.
I guess I mean the cliff diving thing obviously felt daring at the time. I've rock climbed, which doesn't feel daring at very first, but once you get up there a little bit, then it starts feeling daring.
It will definitely get daring.
Because I'm like, so I just stick this in the rock and that's gonna catch me if I fall?
Right.
That don't sound
Yep.
right.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing
It
that.
goes against physics for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's probably it, man. I haven't done much daring stuff like to where I was in danger besides, climbing rocks and stuff like that, especially as a kid. There's so many things I look back on now and I'm like, why would I have done that?
I know, right?
But, Ed?
We were in Jamaica for our honeymoon, and we were kind of like trekking up this river, and the guides said, "Oh, hey, if you jump off these rocks, there's a big rock in the middle of the river. When you jump off, dive under, and there's kind of a tunnel between the rock, and you can go all the way under the rock and come out the other
What?
side." And I was like,
Wow.
"All right."
Oh, yeah.
Let's
And
do
then, like
it.
halfway through the rock, I was like, "I hope that guy was telling the truth."
I know.
Yeah, I hope
right?
this opens up.
Yeah, seriously.
You're like
Wow.
sickness and health, right, babe? Sickness and in health.
This is sickness or death
Right.
by drowning, either one.
Exactly.
The quickest marriage ever.
That's awesome, man.
Beat Britney
Right.
Spears out.
Oh, snap. Oh, that's awesome.
Chris?
The only thing that I can think of is when I used to race my car. I mean, I guess you could say
Yeah,
that's
that's
daring.
daring. Definitely.
It doesn't feel that daring when you're doing it, but when you see somebody wreck, then you're like, oh yeah, I guess this is kind of dangerous.
Yeah, when you watch the fail compilations on YouTube,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, yeah, I guess that could have happened.
Yeah.
Tim?
Let's see. I used to go bodyboarding / surfing with my buddies back in Jersey, and we did it in the middle of a hurricane at one point.
What?
Wow.
It was like the hurricane was going to start coming, and the swells just start getting big. So we went out there, and tons of other people were out there, and the waves got really big, and it was scary and exhilarating all at the same time. But that was pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah, that was back in the day.
Right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's go. Final question at Tattoo Trav. Music helps with being a truck driver and a good stress reliever. So what is your favorite current band / artist and favorite band / artist growing up?
Ooh. So, Chris, Metallica?
Yeah. It definitely was growing up. That was my favorite that I listened to the most. As far as right now, I don't know if I can say because I don't really seek out new music a whole lot. I mean, I kind of do because I'll go onto Spotify and I'll say, oh, this whatever's, trending or whatever. I might listen to something like that for a little bit, but the majority of my music listening is back to like the old faithful songs, my playlist with all the stuff that I know I like just on repeat
Right.
or shuffle. I mean, so
Mhm.
I'd have
I
to
like
think.
that. I like to imagine Chris in his room in front of the mirror trying to juju on that beat. Be like, juju on that beat. Juju on that beat. Juju on that. Juju on that. You're like, yeah. Trying to find that new stuff.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Ed?
Definitely Weird Al.
Yeah.
oh,
I can see
yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. listen
And
to that.
then recently, I've actually been listening to a lot of, when I cook and stuff, I've been listening to a lot of Wynton Marsalis.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
interesting.
Yeah, man.
And,
well done.
Just either that or just the jazz station. And
Love that. Little Miles Davis.
Yeah. All of that. I've really been getting into that a lot lately. So
Look at you little hipster, you.
I know, right?
Tim?
I've been listening to a lot of Drake. I just think
Oh, wow.
some of his older stuff is just so good. Like his
That
rhymes
feels
are so
good.
good, and it's just good, smooth, just good stuff. Back in the day, I was a little punk kid in a band. I was a drummer in a band called Black Cherry Soda. So I grew up listening to bands like Minor Threat and Gorilla Biscuits and all these other
What in the
like
world?
exactly, all these other like little
What is a
indie
gorilla
punk,
biscuit?
all these little indie punk bands
Exactly
that I
what it
used to
sounds
listen
like.
to.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I have actually really fond memories of listening to that stuff, and then being in the basement with my brother and our two buddies, and we would just jam together. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then somehow it all converted to like 90s hip hop. I went from
Right.
punk to
Right.
hip hop like that. It was crazy.
You just try to be rebellious, that's all.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. In a good way.
Right. I mean, obviously, I've talked about being Michael Jackson for like 8 Halloweens in a row when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But like as I got older in my teenage years, I was a huge fan of the Fugees.
Yeah.
And so like anything that Wyclef and Lauryn Hill were putting out back in the day, sorry, Praz, I was definitely listening to that stuff.
No apology necessary.
Exactly. More lately, I really loved that Chance the Rapper album.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little not safe for work, but there's just some really good stuff on there. The musicianship and everything is really good. And then like for chilling, this is weird, but I've been listening to a lot of Exotica, which also is like tiki lounge music.
Right.
Sergio Mendes and all that stuff.
Yeah. And so that Timeless album that they did with Black Eyed Peas was awesome. But Sergio Mendes. But yeah, just tiki lounge stuff, man. I love
Nice.
that.
So great.
I don't know why with all the with all the bird sounds. Yeah,
Love
it's
that,
really
dude.
it's really relaxing to me for some strange
Yeah.
reason, and so
It is.
I can just have that on in the background and clean up or play games or whatever.
I
That's
love
awesome.
it, man.
Good question.
That is good. That's it, man. We had a lot of questions this week. Thanks everybody for participating. I love being able to answer all these.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Yeah,
to you.
man, that's always so fun. Thank you
One of the
guys
best
so
parts.
much. The question of the week for you guys,
Mm.
and we're gonna have to use a little. You have to speak in code a little bit.
Okay.
Mm.
So without going into detail,
Yes.
what games were spoiled for you coming up? Like we've all kind of like, maybe we all haven't, but like I feel like there were games as I was growing up where somebody, like I was playing it and they didn't realize I hadn't beat it yet, and so they spoil something or something like that. Do you guys have any games that were spoiled for you as you came up? No spoilers, but you can just like name the game and maybe what happened. I'll start. And I've talked about it before. High school, lunch table, Final Fantasy VII. Someone dies in the middle of the game, and they just kind of were talking, blah, 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 blah. And then when such and such dies, I was like, wait, what? What? Because they hadn't died for me yet, and it's a big deal in the game.
Yep.
And so that one was spoiled for me so bad.
Wow.
So bad.
The scars run deep, my friend.
Yeah, they do. Ed?
I don't have anything major like that. So I'll just say Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's really funny. It was Tim.
It was not even a spoiler, by the way.
I don't know. I feel like any character dying is a spoiler.
See, Ed's one of those guys that like, he's a lot like me. In my gaming, I don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
So finding out any detail sometimes can feel like a spoiler, even if the person's passing, they're like, well, it's not really a main character or whatever. It still feels like a spoiler because once you meet that character, you're like, oh, well, I know you're dying soon.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I got crucified for that. Everybody was like, yo, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It was meant for Chris. I clicked the wrong chat.
Wrong chat.
I was like,
That was
oh
awesome.
my gosh. And I was like, settle down, people. It's not a big part of the story. You're welcome, Ed. Enjoy it.
Chris?
I don't think I've ever had a game ending or plot point spoiled for me, because usually the ones that I'm really super hyped about, I will play when they come out, and I'm usually done with them about the time that other people are finishing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever had a game that was spoiled for me that I wasn't already like. There have been some that maybe somebody told me what the part of it was before I had played it, but by that time it had already been so long that I was just like, I deserve that because, I waited this long.
Right.
Or I went and looked it up myself.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Chris. I haven't had any spoiler situations because if there's a game I want to play, I try and like isolate myself on social media or in any chat rooms or anything like that about it at all, and that way I can just play it and go right through. So yeah, I haven't had that issue up until now where Ed's about to blow me up with some Mafia 3 stuff, I'm sure.
I was just going to say.
I know you are.
Wait until.
Nope.
Just wait till you ride the hippo.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
So let us know what game, without spoiling it for others, what game has been spoiled for you. Use hashtag #MTTG. And we'll read all about it next week. I'm excited to hear the heartbreak that happens for other people because the Final Fantasy VII thing was a big deal for me at the time. Because I was so hype on it.
Yeah.
It cut you deep, man. It cut you deep.
Yeah, cut me real deep, Shrek.
That's right.
So
useless knowledge right there. Way to go.
Exactly. Yep. Movie lines.
That's right.
Yeah, let us know. Thank you guys so much for listening. 255 in the books. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. We thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. And that is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games. And we are up out this thing. Peace!